Folks, hello and welcome to the random generated party or the random party generator or whatever the fuck we are. There, I demonetized this right away.
That didn't take long.
Had to get it out of the way. Well, if not, Matt would have said something, I'm sure. So, to me, stage right is none other than Matt Jackson. Below me, the magical, mystical number one on. Is that real snow or fake snow?
That was real snow. That's Ivy taking pictures out in the snow back in the day.
Okay. That is Tim, not Time, which I would always do whenever I type.
And I almost put my name in as Time Shorts today. I thought,
well,
you'll just do it.
It's Tim Shorts, and with me, as always, twice a month, none other than Joe the lawyer.
Hey guys, and I don't think we're live, Eric. I'm over. I got the thing going on YouTube, and we're still looking at that startup screen.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I just put a message in chat. Nope.
Holy
it is
cow.
refreshed.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. I keep hitting refresh.
All right, sack the tech guy. He screwed up.
Oh, there goes Eric.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know, Eric. I don't see anything. It still just says random party generator.
It still
title.
says zero people in the room watching.
Yeah, 13 waiting.
Yeah, it shows random party generator public views none. What the bloody fuck is going on?
I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna view it on YouTube.
Yeah,
waiting.
that's what it says. Yeah, that's what I refreshed it several times.
All right, well, hold on.
Maybe a whole new link, Eric.
Well, the whole new link would mean then people waiting on this one will.
Not a YouTube link. A whole new link from whatever the screen, whatever the hell this thing is.
I got an ad.
Yeah, that's what I just got. Hey, we're live now.
Are we live? Yes, we'll. Holy shit, folks! All right, so. I don't know what I just did, but I was playing with shit. So we thought we were live, but we weren't live. But now we're live. Yes, random party generator with a bunch of fucking miscreants.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't derail us before and demonetize us before, I probably done it now. It's okay because I had my earlier video today, which was sharing the latest TSR info drop. Apparently had a couple of swastikas in it because of Dave Johnson and promptly demonetized the video. So
Jesus.
That's okay.
They demonetized just
for the ancient Hindu symbol? Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
What do they do in Korea when they go around, town and they happen to have a swastika? It's not a swastika, but
well, you know what? Maybe YouTube in Korea allows that, but it doesn't allow it here.
I doubt it.
Sorry,
I think YouTube is full of Nazis.
No, see, Wild Die, we were having technical problems, and again, I couldn't tell you how I fixed it. If I knew how, I'd be worth money. But that's okay, because certain people believe I'm on Wizards of the Coast payroll, and I can tell you how much they actually pay.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
I am.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm the secret mole.
You're the secret mole. Okay.
No idea. I don't even follow that shit.
The Quisling is among us, ladies and gentlemen. The Quisling is among us.
So, and no, I'm not punch drunk. I just started sipping my wine. And again, if the bar should come on, you can't tell if I have ice or not in this one. There's no ice. Wait. Strongbow.
Nice. It's funny. I've never seen it in a bottle out here, and yet you said you've never seen it in a can.
It's true. I've never seen it in a can.
Yeah, you got these 20-some ounce cans out here. They're pretty fucking good, man. They're really
good. 20 ounce?
Yeah. I think
which one is it? Is it
the basic?
The golden
the
apple?
No, it's the other one. It's the basic one, the basic bitch strongbow. I don't think it's golden apple.
I only thought there were two. There's one that's a greenish, and I don't know. Anyway,
now I gotta look.
Cider at 7. How are y'all doing?
There you go.
There you go.
Man, you introduced him before, but I don't think you introduced him now. Tim Shorts with the natural one below us.
Oh, the actual one for Tim, Joe, all these guys. They're randomly generated. We don't know who's going to show up. So here's the question: how is the random generation done? We send out a link, and who shows up?
Yeah. We know Greg isn't coming tonight. He had something going on.
It's kind of like a gaming group, you know. You got a day, you got a thing, and random people show up to it.
You have a day when like 7, 8 people show up, and you got this big, huge screen. It's like, hey, we even had to walk on with a bad mic. And instead, and folks, if perchance you have LARPing on your scorecard, there is a chance you might be able to mark off that box because Rob might still show up.
Yes. Right. What happened? I thought he said he was coming. I didn't hear anything about
that. Really brings up. I really need to make like a Tenkar bingo.
You should
card or something.
Yeah,
I think we should.
Yeah.
And then we can put it on your blog. People can download it, print it out, and then we can play along every other week. But no, here you can't just be one bingo card. You got to have like 12. Oh, yeah, you got to have it all random.
Yeah, you're random. And it's like, all right, folks, everybody, look at your card. Which card did you choose? It could be named after the Tenkar's minion or something like that. I don't know.
That's a minion.
Dude, I ordered that shirt. I ordered the shirt with the.
Oh, did you?
It would have the graphic that looks like an old school module, and that would go on the back, and then just the minions graphic for the front. And
do you have a picture of it that you can share?
Of the minion itself, or
the what you ordered?
I didn't get the shirt yet. I did.
Well, I mean, do you have a picture of the graphic then?
I can. Hold on. Carry on without me.
I feel like this is like where you're like, Grandma, hit the power. No. Hit the power button.
Right.
Power button.
Yeah. Gosh, we've all done that.
It doesn't matter that your VCR is flashing 3 zeros. You don't use it anymore.
Oh, don't even, please. I got my parents have been in the Poconos for like 2 weeks, and then I get the tech support questions like, the keyboard on my iPad isn't working. It's like,
I had to stop at my parents' house for the same kind of shit the other day, man. Yeah. He took the vacuum cleaner apart to try to clean it, and he couldn't put it back together. I'm like, God, I know. Yeah, it's that. It's never ending when they hit that certain age.
All right, let's see.
Just wait, we're almost there.
I was gonna say,
I know.
I can't get my phone to work, kids.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already there.
That's why you got Ivy though. She's your tech support.
Yeah, pretty much because I can't.
Hey, John wants to know hot topic tonight about the D&D movie trailer. So.
I liked it.
Yep.
Eric, do you know how to do that shit where you can play the trailer? We could all talk shit about it.
Yeah, if you don't mind, if you don't mind me stopping it a couple times.
We stop at the cool parts. Any chainmail bikini parts, we got to stop it on. Right. That's a definite, right?
Should we wait for Rob so he can give us the AD&D rules certification of what's happening in the trailer versus the 5e one? Or
what the hell was that?
What was that about? You
sharing stat blocks.
There's a scene
Matt
in the
started
trailer.
It. Matt started it.
I started it. There was a scene in the trailer where it looks like they're in like a coliseum, and the heroes, the thieves or whoever they are, jump into a gelatinous cube, and then a displacer beast jumps at the screen. And I am not the D&D lorist, and I just was like, in what sense of reality would you jump into a gelatinous cube? That just doesn't make any sense to me. And so Rob went and started looking at the statistics in AD&D and comparing them to 5e and seeing if in either case did it make sense. And I believe in both cases he said absolutely not. It's stupid.
Because the gelatinous cube can paralyze you and then you're screwed.
Right. But that's what I think I started the conversation with, this must be some bullshit 5e cantrip that allows them to jump into the gelatinous cube without being paralyzed. And
you know what? I don't think I've seen this part of the trailer. I've only seen one of the trailers.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
There we go. So now, and we got Robin.
Aha, here we are. Just in time, Rob.
All right. So hold on. Let me turn off the. I got Rob's face hidden I got to turn
Throw
off.
me down there. They can't see
That's
me
not a
anyway.
bad thing.
Yeah, put Tim. That's so rude. Put Tim down there or Joe down there.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Are you ready, folks, to see
That's
the
it.
Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves trailer?
Well, I come in just at the right time.
So that's the Black Dragon. I'm going to annoy you folks. 'Cause I'm going to stop this shit constantly.
No,
Let
it's
me read all
okay.
this stuff. We might as well get through this and then actually comment it when they have actually the main trailer.
Well,
This
Now-
is just a flasher.
did you catch that? I watched
Here's the
Reinhold Ragnar's thing
Right.
today. He did his first ever. I'm gonna do like we're doing right now, and he says, "Holy shit!" He says, basically, he didn't say "Holy shit," I don't think, but he says, "Wow." He saw the black dragon breathing acid, which
Yeah.
was cool, and it was black acid. I'm like,
But then it flames up. So I got questions about
no,
that.
that was a
No,
fireball.
it
That was a
just
catapult.
Yeah,
a
Oh.
random shit that the
Jeez,
DM.
lay out the wine, Eric.
yeah.
I'm working on the wine, motherfucker.
I always thought that I guess I was in my head canon, black dragons and acid is greenish, so I figured it was greenish. And Block said the same thing. He's like, wow, it was black acid out of a black dragon. I guess that does make sense.
All right.
I always pictured the acid as
We're a
clear.
team of thieves.
Oh, by the way, I don't know why
Oh.
they turned close.
I was gonna say
I
that
don't know.
that's for old people.
And when you do this, you're bound to make enemies. Sometimes those enemies come looking for
So is that
revenge.
water deep, you think?
I don't know. Can you maximize that, Eric? There's that little in the
If,
square. In the,
I think I can. Let me see.
yeah, let's see. I'm pointing to my screen so you
You
can see
gotta-
my fucking
you
finger.
gotta-
Bigger.
Did it
There
get
you go.
bigger? All right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. It
But
did.
I can't see the same screen you're seeing. I can only see the one tab right now.
Oh, okay.
So, and by the way, I figured out why it's Honor Among Thieves because they're adventurers. But so even the ones that aren't the thief class are going to be thieves because adventurers steal shit.
Or it's 5e. There's no thieves.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, rogues.
rogues,
Honor among
right, the
rogues,
rogues.
right?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
wait a minute. There is the thief specialization, I think they call it.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That
there's the
is
black
fucking-
acid.
That is
Cool.
fucking cool.
It looked like tar there a little bit,
Okay, so this is the part where the players go, really? Acid and flaming fireball catapult?
Yeah, it was a catapult. Yeah. That was kind of cool too.
Wait, hold on. I got a question for Rob because he's like our resident scientist techno guy. Is acid flammable? I don't think so.
Some acid is.
Is it?
I'm sure they don't get into the exact chemistry of it, but
I hear
I'm pretty sure that like sulfuric acid can catch fire.
So hold on. So John, before we play again, John has a question. Is the movie set in the Forgotten Realms?
I don't
I've
know.
read somewhere somebody says that the Red Wizards of Thay, which if I remember right, are from
That's
the Forgotten Realms, right?
Yeah,
Right.
It
yeah.
is Forgotten Realm. They have a companion video to here where Chris Perkins.
And Unscripted said that it's never winter, not water deep.
Really?
Oh, really?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's what.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah,
That's fine.
Okay.
that's
That
fine.
mean- that means
You're
we're
okay.
good.
Is that okay with you, Rob? Is
It
that fine?
passes my inspection. If I'm gonna actually Neverwinter is probably a better area to adventure.
I mean, I
into.
assume that they have to set it in Forgotten Realms because if they're going to do like
Yeah.
these series of movies, they're going to have to establish it in some sort of campaign world to try to have some cohesiveness.
and then build the fiction off it again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and also Neverwinter is the name of their video game series,
Yep.
right? So it's like something
Oh,
that's familiar
sure.
to everybody. I'm not even a video
Yeah.
game player. I just remember that.
I was like two or three versions of it over the years too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Well, here comes the
I
fire
rewound it.
catapult thing.
Now again, the acid. It's not the catapult. The acid hits the catapult area, making
Ah.
it go in flames. You see
Yes,
what I'm saying?
yes.
Well,
Yes.
because they have oil over there. That's what we think they doused those balls with. That's probably just let every barrel in the sector just
All right.
rupture.
I'll accept that. I'm just saying it was a little
that's good.
incongruous. Okay.
Well, the acid might have burned the rope, right? Which caused the thing to shoot.
I gotta say, if this is gonna be part of the soundtrack, I'm very happy.
Oh, me too. I'm
No, it
shocked.
isn't. They're
Reinhard
just selling the
Grognard said
trailer.
no.
Told
Grognard said no Zeppelin. He doesn't like a Zeppelin.
steal the wrong.
I like Joe Block. On this one, I will fucking disagree with him. Zeppelin is awesome.
I agree. How do you not like Zeppelin? Matt probably doesn't though.
What?
You don't like anything.
Oh, you're getting double fingered there.
So that must be a red wizard of Say.
Oh, good call, Rob. Go back to that. Yeah, yeah.
Why? Just because he's wearing red? That's so racist. I can't
And he's
believe
bald. They had the whole bald thing going on.
Right.
Really
So, so it's either a
Hey, if they were wearing purple, I would say they're from Cormier. So I know my Forgotten Realms.
Hey, folks, you do realize that this weekend over at VengerCon, there was going to be like I think a blood ritual or something like that. That could be what we're watching now.
Ah, that's Wenger? All right.
But we're gonna fix it.
Well, how do we pull that off?
So let's try to pick. I mean, we obviously have a
This part I
druid.
really love. This sounds like half of the campaigns I referee. What about
Shit goes wrong.
what they're about to do this? Wow, we unleash evil in the world.
Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best.
Perfect.
That's perfect. That would certainly be our group, but it would be us for real.
To give us a fighting chance, we're gonna need strength. You got this, right?
I know you don't.
So we got a barbarian, right? There's a barbarian. What is this dude? What the hell is this dude? A blade singer? This fucking guy?
I think he's a paladin.
Yeah?
And he got Matt's shooting sword.
See, I prefer a sword of dancing or a flame tongue, but all right.
Yeah, you. What?
There's your owlbear.
There's your druid. That was a druid turned into it.
Perfect. That is a perfect
It
owlbear.
really is. That was well fucking done.
Yep, I like the owlbear.
Ooh, whiskers. I didn't know owlbears had whiskers. That's a new one for me.
Well, you know.
I guess it's part of the bear part, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's well done, though. The Barbarian Bard, right? Barbarian Bard. Let's say Paladin or some kind of fighter guy. I don't think a Paladin would throw a sword. It doesn't seem paladin.
Wait a minute. Hold on. When they go back to when they're sitting on the horses, is the guy in the middle the same one that you're calling a paladin?
No, he's a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, the guy who shot the sword is.
He's a sorcerer. The
That's
middle
a
guy is
sorcerer?
the sword. Yeah.
All right. So Barbarian, Sorcerer, and Bard, left to right.
Okay.
Not a sorcerer, not a warlock, and not a wizard. Are using that generically, Rob, or by the class, the 5e class?
I just read online that he is a sorcerer, not a wizard.
You cheater! You read online about?
So look at somebody did research for this shit.
Damn.
There's a companion video where they just shoot the shit and explain about it.
Okay.
Real cheater! You penalize
Cheater.
someone of course, Ken 50 XP for doing that. Remember?
That's right.
All right, druid.
But what is she? Is she
Is
like
that a gold dragon?
a tiefling or
Druid. Oh, you're right. Good call, Matt. She might be a tiefling.
tiefling, whatever they
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it?
She's got a tail, so whatever race.
But
that
she
is.
might
the
be
horn,
some kind of
isn't
weird.
that
She might be a half fae, you know. I mean, the horns are not
Yeah,
very
they got all that kind of weird
demonic.
shit now. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Right.
That's a
Unicorn.
good dragon. Whatever kind of dragon that is, that's a good dragon.
That looks like that looks like How to Train Your Dragon.
I
Yeah, it's
actually
a
don't
baby.
like this dragon, and I'm sure some D&D dork right there. Pause it. Like, if
What
you
was
pause
that?
it
What
right
was
when he
that?
rears up and look at his face, it looks so fake. Like his nostrils
It
don't
does.
actually go anywhere. They're just
Well,
looks
the
like
only
a
thing,
Disney ride.
the
Right.
other thing it might be,
You
be
ever
some sort
seen
of
Sorry.
stone. Looks like almost like a gargoyle-ish.
Well,
kind of-
I was gonna say it actually makes me think it's a brought to life statue or
yeah,
iron
that's what it looks
golem,
like.
dragon form or something like that. It makes me wonder if it's not really a
Good
real
call.
dragon.
Now, I
Good
will
call.
say that the good dragon that's originally depicted in the monster manual, they always look cheesier compared to their, except for the silver dragon and the gold dragon.
Do
The
you
other-
really tell in the original black and white art that level of detail? I'm just fucking with you, Rob.
They really like to do their pencil and inks. What can I say?
Oh wait, Dave says the dragon was a statue that you see earlier.
But it's a
Oh.
gold dragon. It is a gold dragon. I'm looking at my mini right now above my head. It's the same wings and the same swept horns. Kind of
Okay,
thing
so
going
it's a
on.
statue of a gold dragon. It
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense they would have a statue of a gold dragon in
Yeah.
the Forgotten Realm.
John Miller, they didn't sell the ass. It looked like black vomit or diarrhea
Yeah.
that was vomited up by the dragon.
It does kind
Yeah,
of.
it did look kind of chunky.
It did smoke a little bit too, remember?
Yeah, when it hit the ground, it did. But I
Yeah.
do agree with him that if you look closely, there's two guys that are right on this on the left side of the screen of the path of the acid.
Yeah.
It looks like one of them might have got hit, and then he helps his buddy up, and then they literally run right across where the acid just fell. Just saying, as a DM, no player is going to run right where that acid just
Oh, they might
Yeah.
run right through it, but they're going to take damage.
Oh yeah.
If
You
they
got
ran
no-
across it and then fell and died, then I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, accurate portrayal.
Right.
And we need a dex check. And
Yeah.
saving throws for your boots, please.
I don't understand this next scene that comes up. I don't get this. What is this?
Dimension door.
On the ground?
Well, I mean, where else are you going to put it?
Well, where does she appear? In a goddamn what is that? Where does she appear?
You know what that is? That is a Instagram Reels trick that all of them do that. They do this little spinny thing, so they're borrowing that from like social
really?
media. Oh yeah, it's a big technique for them.
Really?
But it does look like some sort of teleportation. But Dimension Door only goes so far. So
Right.
unless that thing is underneath there,
Yeah, that's a
it's not
secret
gonna
door.
work.
You see, that was a secret door revolving that she was on. It magically revolved, hence the outline of it, right? And then she appeared in the treasure vault because it's vertical. It's a even the gravity's reversed
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it is. Yeah.
That's a weird one.
because she appears standing up in here, and everything else is see.
So this looks like what? Do you know?
Maybe it was the
Now, Matt, I think Matt and I need to go back just a little bit, just a touch.
Oh, by the way, just to point out
Let-
that girl, she did way better than Tim when he tried to teleport.
That was
Yeah, well,
Dimension Door because
That's because I had to
roll.
roll when I teleported. Now, just go forward a little bit to focus on the evil guy with the tattoos.
I hate the evil guy.
It's evil here.
Okay,
That guy.
again. All right, I'm gonna call. I don't know. I'm gonna. Is harassed a term because all the bad guys are bald. All the evil guys. They're always have shaved heads and they're
This is
bad.
bullshit.
It's total bullshit, Matt. I'm calling them out.
Well, you know,
All
what?
small
I'm
guys are
Googling it
not
now.
that way.
I
Huh?
really don't like this scene right here. If you played it normal,
That's because I'm
speed,
outraged.
Watch his,
I'm channeling my Johnny Cochran. I just can't rhyme right now.
watch
If the
his,
sword don't fit in your gut, you must have quit.
Yeah.
That's right.
All
What are you
right.
Googling around? What are you
Apparently,
seeing?
being bald is it's something they do and say.
No, I said that
Well,
before. I'm a Thay expert. I know. my
Bold,
shit.
tattooed, and beautiful.
And yeah.
That's
See, now,
right.
this guy,
That
he's not.
guy
A,
is
he's
a
not a
paladin?
paladin. He's not a paladin. Not the way he's.
I don't
fighting.
think so.
No.
If he is,
Not
he's
the way.
like-
Wait a minute. He's not a paladin because the way he's fighting.
Yeah, he threw his sword off of a dagger. That's a trick. Paladins wouldn't do such a dishonorable thing like that, you know.
Well,
Remember
he did,
before?
but the thing is, he had a line in there that said where he detected evil.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yep.
I missed that.
So
He must
Yeah,
have
but
taught-
every class in 5e
Yeah, you're
seems to have some spell
Yeah.
casting ability. So
That's true.
David says it's a hexblade warlock.
There you go. Now that's a fucking fireball.
Hexblade
Okay.
Warlock. Okay, God,
I don't know what
this
that is,
stuff.
but
Yeah.
What does it say? The other bald guys look like the Red Wizards. Yeah, I don't know. Are Red Wizards bad or good?
Bad.
Bad,
They're
evil.
bad. Okay.
They're
They
lawful
bad.
evil.
They bad boys.
They're the
They're
big
bad.
lawful evil menace of the Forgotten Realms.
Not
Okay.
anymore in my campaign. They've been destroyed.
Ooh.
And it gave you great pleasure in saying that.
It did. It
So
was
what
fun.
did he just block? This what did he just
Fireball.
or,
Fireball.
That'd be
Counterspell. He did
So
a
how-
counterspell.
Counterspell or wall of
counterspell a
force?
fireball? Huh?
I think it's a wall of
Whether-
force, Rob.
It could be a wall of force.
Because counterspell would have
Double
stopped
force. Global force. Global
Global?
invulnerability.
it. I don't know. I think it's curved wall. Yeah, that'd be too high. Too high level, right?
the nerd level is so high at the moment.
I know, isn't it getting? It's just.
I can't take the nerdiness.
It's so high
It's,
right
it's,
now.
it's too big for a wall of force. It's for a globe, Rob.
Those only go 30 foot in diameter.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
wall of force is bigger.
To the Google.
You know the audience is all
No
yelling
idea.
at each other out loud right now, saying,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Joe's right and Rob's wrong." Right? So yeah,
They're
I
gonna be
hear
doing
him.
that
I
during
hear
the official screening.
The only
They'll be
globe
there.
spell is the globe of invulnerability.
see now I hate these kind of rooms as a player because how do you DM it? But this is so annoying. You know, go ahead. This
Well,
is-
Joe,
Well, when you
there-
have miniatures,
I
it's
will
easy.
tell you one thing: how you defeat these kind of rooms, and you don't have to put any effort into it.
fly.
boots of levitation.
That's
Boots of
right.
levitation.
There you go.
Wow.
Who needs
DM's
Greg? And that
bang.
would have been a Greg answer. Come on.
This one's dangerous.
And just annoying rooms. They're there to piss players off. They're no other.
And
Oh,
here
here's
we
the
go
mimic.
with the mimic.
I love
Yeah.
the mimic. I missed this the first couple of times I saw it. This
You
is
missed
cool,
the
though.
mimic?
I did. I don't know what the fuck, a brain fart. And here we go. Is that Hugh Grant?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Hugh Grant playing the big bad guy? Really?
Yes. Yep. He's the
All right,
big bad guy.
Is he? He's
Totally.
like that.
This one's
Oh
dangerous.
God, that's
Hugh Grant,
That
Mr. Romance movie. Jesus Christ.
I know he's gonna be. I mean, he's probably. I mean, he might be a funny bad guy. You know, I guess he doesn't have to be your typical. You know, I'm going to take over the world kind of thing, and he'll just charm everybody. You know.
Well, he is a Brit, and he's got that flamboyantness to him. So that
Right.
really helps him pull off that outfit, especially with that necklace.
Well,
Yeah,
have you seen
Yeah.
the one movie with is it The Gentleman, Matthew McConaughey? He plays like a kind of slimy detective journalist in it. I think it's just journalist. And he does a pretty good job playing. I mean, he's trying to be evil, but it kind of comes off a little humorous. I think he's got the acting chops. It's just, it's going to be bad or hard for those of us that grew up with him as the romantic comedy lead to bite off on this. Oh, he's the big bad evil. I mean,
Who was the big
Speaking
bad
of hard,
guy in the first one? Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
yeah.
I think it's for me it's 50-50 whether he's going to pull a Jeremy Irons on this one.
You know,
I mean,
speaking of hard, didn't he get arrested for like hiring a prostitute years ago?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah,
so. Was he the one who hired
yeah.
somebody who was dressing in a different gender, or was that Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
Was Eddie Murphy
No,
got nailed around the same time?
No, it was Hugh Grant.
Was it
he
Hugh
had
Grant?
he had Elizabeth Hurley at home.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and he hired and he went out and got himself a trans black prostitute.
Elizabeth Hurley. Could have called me. I would have kept her company, asshole.
Sometimes the women are just a bitch, and you got to go find that black trans prostitute.
That is.
Oh, we just demonetized it all over the place.
Wow.
Eric's like we're
Excuse me,
going to get canceled.
I know you got the boobies, but do you have kibbles and bits?
There's something among your genitals. Yeah, what's going on there?
all right, guys, let's move on.
You're getting Rob excited. Stop.
That's
All right,
right.
here's the mimic. That mimic that mimic had like a 10-foot reach.
That's a hell of a tongue there.
Well, remember, it's got that adhesiveness too, you know, so it sticks. So mimics, like if they get a hold of you, part of their nastiness is they've got like super glue all over them.
And you know that this character we're seeing here, this role is the thief / rogue role.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're opening up the quest.
Whatever happens.
All right, so this is a scene that we could probably
The
do
big
a whole show
controversy.
on this one because Rob has been crunching the numbers, and is it better to be bit by a displacer beast or dive into?
By far the displacer beast, because the moment
Here we go.
the gelatinous cube gets his turn in 5e, all those characters who just dived in are going to take 66 damage. And at worst, what you're going to take from a displacer beast is 2 attacks at 1d, the 2d4 damage each.
And also doesn't the gelatinous cube paralyze you on top of it too? Have
No,
a chance
not
of it?
in 5e. All it does is restrain you, and you have a DC 12.
Oh, they
strength check.
pussified the gelatinous
Figures.
cube?
Yeah, they up the damage badly. They up the damage a lot.
Mere jello.
But
Mere
It's
jello.
supposed to be the slow death.
But
They kind of died
they
over
made it
time.
easier to get out of. So
I mean, come on. What's more fun, getting killed immediately by a lot of damage, or watching your friend slowly be dissolved by acid because he's paralyzed?
And they're suffocating. You can't breathe in that thing. So either burn before you smother. You know what happens first.
What's it say? Chris Pine is wearing a Harper's pin in the scene with the kid. Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
All
I've heard of Harper's, but I know
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
some sort of group, but I don't know them.
they're like a major force for good in the north of the.
Bards and Rangers.
All right, so what's this? I know this. It's like I've
This
seen
is
the
the
back.
overweight turtle dragon.
Go back.
It does.
Go back one a little bit. Like
That's
3
a turtle
seconds.
dragon.
I think it was
don't know.
something.
I'm making this shit up.
I don't think turtle dragons breathe
All right,
fire.
so they dive in. Now, all right. So they're mixing scenes because all those fights didn't happen at the same time.
Well,
they're trying to play it like it's all in the Coliseum or something. It looked like
right.
You know?
They're just throwing everything in these trailers they possibly can. Yeah.
See, now they're in some square. That's
now,
a pretty cool scene. What is that? Is that
that is ejaculation?
That is a cantrip.
Level spell.
That's a cantrip. What cantrip is that?
I was going to say that would be a cantrip. Yeah.
The guy to the left of the red
depending
wizard
on your age.
The guy to the left of the red wizard there, Warlock, whatever the hell he is, looks like he's either taking a shit or just hiked the football.
No, he's got his ukulele.
This spine's like taking. That's what a short rest looks like.
Right? Oh, is that what a short rest?
Yeah, that's what a short rest looks like.
Well, you know, the guy on the left is Chris Pine holding a lute.
That's what I just said, Ron.
Oh, it's a lute. Okay, yeah. All right.
Holding the lute, taking a short rest.
Yep. Singing a little tune.
Singing. He's like, "Ooh, I'm tired."
What was with the useless knife in front of the red wizard? The little nymph or whatever she is. What did we call it?
There's a nympho in this.
The tiefling.
She's a tiefling. Yeah.
Tiefling, whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking races.
Now that's one of those that spell he just did to get up there. What the hell is that called? It's like a quick step spell or something like that. What the hell is that called? That 5th edition spell.
I don't know.
Arcane
phase step.
Yeah, it's like a 30-foot step. I forget. Anybody know?
Is it phase step?
Misty step.
Oh,
there
Misty
it is.
Step.
Thank you, Darius Papers 2020. Yes, Misty Step.
Now, if this thing is a turtle dragon, Tim and Dwayne totally had that covered when I tried to do this to him.
Turtle dragon.
No, I didn't have it covered.
Funny.
That was Dwayne who had that one, but I don't think that's a turtle.
Steam.
That kind of looks like like Matt said, somebody who's ate too many Cheetos watching.
Yeah, he's gained some weight there.
Yeah, he's like the
I mean, it doesn't.
Dragons.
I forgot. I'm sitting with my.
Well, no, the turtle dragon spits steam anyway. This thing is spitting fucking fire.
Right.
Dude,
Yeah,
I totally made up the turtle dragon shit. I was just saying it was a fat dragon.
You just don't want to be
not
wrong.
A turtle dragon.
You just don't want to be wrong. We already called you out. You're wrong. You can admit it. Admit it. You're wrong. Have a little humility.
I have no idea what a turtle dragon is.
Humility. You just admit it.
My level on D&D lore is about 0.
I mean, I know the first edition stuff, but that's when we're getting into 5th edition.
No, first and second, once you get into 3rd, I'm done.
I've seen this creature before. I just can't figure out. It's a reptile. It's not a dragon, but it does breathe fire. Just can't remember where I've seen it.
What is this at the bottom? I was waiting for him.
That's the same thing.
That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
A weird snout.
Go back to the other video where he's sliding down at it. You get
It kind of looks like the end battle. I mean, that looks like one of the end battles there.
Right there. Oh, stop.
All right, stop. Hold on. Come back.
Why don't you play it at the slower speed?
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
down to the settings. You can play it at like half speed.
Yeah.
Well, it took us 10 minutes to log in here.
Yeah,
let's not push it, man.
There, he's going.
It does appear to be flying.
I think it's a red dragon, Rob. It just doesn't look as cool as I hoped the red dragon would be.
It is one fat red dragon.
Yeah, the snout is like been punched in the face by a storm giant.
And now he's jumping up and gonna save his spine from getting eaten.
That's a red dragon. Now I'm gonna call shenanigans on that.
I'm a planner. I make plans.
I'm a planner. I make.
Why she got horns? She's not the tiefling, was she? She was
the
drill.
tiefling. She's the
No.
tiefling.
Yeah, she's
That's the same person.
I don't know. They don't look demonic to me. I think she's a half fairy.
Half fairy?
Oh.
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
So you make.
I don't like the barbarian. I know the actress, but I don't like her as a barbarian.
So there's a group of 4 of them, or is there 5?
5.
Well, there's that other guy too. He doesn't seem to be in like all the scenes though. He just seems to be in some of them. Like he must come later or something.
The
like
obese
that.
geriatric dragon.
Obese, yeah.
The Space Beast is pretty cool.
He's on some sort of like nitro for his heart or something like that because he's so big.
Surely there is somebody somewhere that has recorded this in 4K and has stills from it. I'm sure.
Yeah, and has
It wasn't me. I'll tell you that much.
Oh.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I gotta say, I just don't want any bullshit. We'll leave it at that. In there.
Like I said, the only thing I just hope is, I mean, I know that for the the trailer. They need to make it as action packed and as exciting as possible.
Yeah, they need.
But if they rely that heavily on CGI through the whole thing, I'm going to be bored as hell.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. Like when we have a role playing session, and I know it's our group, so our sessions is when we're just kind of like role playing them amongst ourselves with a monster's things mixed in, but that's not the priority. A lot of times, there's a lot of like, fun stuff in between there.
Yeah, like pottery.
So hopefully they'll do a little bit of that.
Well, I mean,
it could be.
It goes back to everything that we've talked about on this show. Whenever we bring up movies and we all discount whatever Rob says, is
right.
What matters is it got a good story and is it entertaining?
Yeah,
it can be action packed and is all cool,
right.
and all the animals or monsters can be as accurate and right to the right spell effects, the right distance that they work, and none of that'll fucking matter if this story sucks balls.
Yeah,
right.
And
I think
I don't know. I mean, some of the recent Marvel Disney Plus show. I mean, I like the story, but I wish there was a little bit more action given it was Marvel.
I don't like the stories. That's
because they're preaching too much a lot in those, but that's a whole different thing there. But for this one, I think one of the best choices that they made was getting Chris Pine to play the lead because he's a very likable actor and he's funny. Yeah. I mean, I really liked him in like Wonder Woman. I thought he like the first one, not that horrible second one.
Yeah. Second one I tapped out within like 15 minutes. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh well, I mean, poor Ivy. I ended up getting HBO Max because they were doing that Christmas release just for that 1 year, and we were so excited to watch it. And then I don't even think we got in like a half an hour or something like that. And she was just like crestfallen because Wonder Woman was her thing, and the first movie was so fucking epic that. What's that?
I cried through the whole first
movie. She cried like a little 8-year-old through the whole first movie because she was just so excited.
In fact, I didn't even know what someone was in the tower. I was crying so much.
Yeah, you missed a bunch of stuff because you were crying.
But I finally got it after the fourth.
It was fun watching her do it because here this perfect, almost perfect personification of Wonder Woman on the screen doing such cool shit and everything, and watching my wife turn into this 8-year-old girl, watching her fate. I mean, when she was a kid, she used to dress up as Wonder Woman when she would eat
at the dinner table.
At the dinner table, watching her kind of go. You still do, Joe? Yeah, well, well, that's we're going back to Hugh Grant for that kind of thing.
Well, no,
but I think their choice of actor for Hugh Grant was, or not Hugh Grant, but for Chris Pine I thought was a good choice.
Yeah,
he'll pull it off.
You kind of said what matters though, like when you were talking about Wonder Woman, and I don't really think this movie was made for us. I think it was made for the younger generation. No. So I think what happened with her. I mean, we may go and enjoy it. But we're going to sit there and we're going to say, this isn't quite what I imagined or dreamed. I mean, I think we might enjoy it.
Right. This isn't quite my D&D, but I can appreciate it for what it is.
And I'm going to go.
I hope it does well. I hope they have 6 more and they're all fantastic.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. I hope it's successful.
I mean, like I said in our chat earlier, I'm kind of glad that they put an owlbear in it because now in common speech, I can say, man, that bitch is as big as an owlbear, and everybody around me goes, they're all going to know what I'm talking about. Whereas before, they'd be like, what?
I'll tell you, I'm going to see the movie. My brother, obviously, and we're going to grab any of my nephews and nieces who are going to go. I think the 2 girls are going to go because they actually play in a D&D game. Surprisingly, the boys don't like it. The girls ended up liking it. So we played with the 2 girls and one of the girls' friends who they want to be their boyfriend. And so that's kind of funny too to watch. But I'm sure we'll all go and see it and we'll have a good time. And it's a little bonding thing across the generations. That's what I kind of like about it. You know what I mean? That's going to be fun for me.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I've never seen any of the other D&D movies because I didn't even want it because they just look so horrible from the trailers. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time watching these things.
I saw the first D&D movie, and when I left, the screen was shredded from Jeremy Irons chewing the scenery.
I'll tell you what, playing. We have a double-header D&D movie playing in a town in my state. There's one of those small theaters, like a Strand brand theater. You know, it's an original back at OG kind of 1950s size and style. And I think they're like they don't use it anymore for too much at all. You know, they're not a regularly used thing. But somebody rented it out this weekend, and they're doing a double-header starting at 7:00. First, start up Conan the Barbarian, and after that, the original Highlander movie. And I want to go because I'm such a geek, but I'm even more of a geek for the reasons I can't go because tomorrow's fucking D&D night and I can't go. So
that's cool.
I kind of want
to. Movie? What's
the Highlander original? There could be only
the original
one.
Highlander.
There could be only one.
I kind of want to cancel it. I kind of want to cancel
burn out and fade away.
Yeah,
Clancy Brown in that movie was so good, and he looked.
God.
And the funny thing is he looked like a giant in that movie.
Yes,
and he's not. I mean, he's big, but he just looked like every time I picture the crew, I just imagine him 7 foot tall and 340 pounds, and safety pins in his neck, and jacked up hair, and just
he's in this show. He was in a season or two of this show on Showtime called Billions, and he played the United States Attorney General, a Texan down south, drawl the whole bit. And as soon as he comes on, I'm looking at him because he's gray hair, older now, a little heavier. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, where do I know him? Where do I know him? Then, like 5-10 seconds, it's the Kurgan! Yeah, he yelled it out at midnight, you know, like he's always going to be the fucking Kurgan, man. I don't care.
He's always going to be that to us. Yep, absolutely. Yep, he was just too good in that not to ever be anything else.
Yeah, at least to us, fucking geeks, man. That's it, you know.
I enjoyed the music.
Well, because that was all Queen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of Queen.
And they kept that up as well in the series. Remember the old series they had, the Highlander series?
I never saw the Highlander series or TV.
I enjoyed it until they got started. The last season kind of gets sucky because they were introducing new characters for the spin-off kind of thing. You know what I mean? That didn't
but
go
they have
anywhere.
the Lowlander or something like that?
No, it was some couple girls or a girl or something.
There can be more than one.
Yeah,
I was going to say, there's going to be a few more.
No, it was pretty
only
good,
one
though.
Highlander plus D12 rolled every year.
What is this that you're showing on the screen here, Eric?
This is
That's
what
that thing
Joe
I
asked about, or Tim, whoever asked.
I did because I wanted to see because he kept on talking about his Minion T-shirt, and I wanted to see what it was going to look
be on
like.
the back, and then the artwork itself, without the framing of the module, will be on the front. I got to see how it comes out, if it's high definition enough. So I got to ask my artist for a higher quality.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's the same person, Joe, that put together your framed artwork.
Okay, yeah. We met up in New York City, guys. What was last week? Was it only last week?
Yeah, it was only last Saturday.
Jesus Christ, it was only a week ago. Yeah. We met up. It was a good time. It was a real fun time. You know, we met up with a couple of people, Joe Block and one other guy. I don't know if he wanted us to say who he's with or not.
Where did you get it? The strategic, the complete strategist.
Yeah.
What did you get?
We can say it because there was a quick video going up on his Patreon, like 5 seconds long.
All right, cool.
Where I'm on it.
Yeah.
Professor Dion.
Yeah. Professor Dungeon Master.
And one of the artists that does work for him.
Yep.
So we hung out.
Cool.
Yeah. In my case, what did I get? I got the
his Deathbringer RPG game. Oh, I thought you meant from him. Yeah, he gave us a handout. It was his Deathbringer RPG game. You all printed out. It's printed out like a menu. It's kind of cool. It's in the size of a folding diner menu. You know,
it's pretty nice.
Yeah. I picked up Gaxmore, the original.
Oh, that's
Gaxmore.
right.
It was a nice find. It wasn't even in the right place on the shelf. It was behind the thing around the back. You know, it was like, damn, man, this is nice. So I picked that up because I just bought the new version that they just put out for Troll Lords. You know. So I got that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is the shot Peter and the Goldbergs. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. But no, it's cool that you got that Gaxmore. I mean, it's not great, but it's a good read.
It's collectible, and it still had the original price from 20 years ago when it first was released. So they didn't know the price. It was like $19.
It was a little dog-eared, but
yeah, it worked for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, that was a good time though. It was.
So this is what I'm going to be running at ShireCon in 2 months. Nice. I'll be running the Dominions of Tenkar. I've already got the storyline.
Oh, so this is an actual adventure then, Eric. Okay.
It's going to be now. once I got
Oh,
this,
it's gonna be okay. Gotcha.
yeah, it's gonna be now. I was like, oh shit, I gotta make something that fits this.
Yeah.
And I have it, and it's a decent plot line. I like it.
Did you reach out to Matt for a map yet?
No, I haven't. No, I'm no, yeah. I
Well,
gotta figure this one
he's
out.
got to get it right. It's the other cartography guy.
Yeah, the other cartography guy.
Yeah.
That'll
But
be in the
Can you
credits.
zoom in on the OSR logo? I don't
Ah,
have my glasses on, but it looks like somebody mooning the OSR.
It is somebody mooning.
it's either that or from this distance is either that or somebody.
No, I'm not sure how much I can zoom in, but yes, it is definitely somebody mooning the OSR.
Nice.
That's appropriate.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. Can I?
Look, he has a T on his shield. That's well done. I just caught that. Nice.
I like the beholder. The eyes are the minion goggles.
Yeah.
The end of the tentacle.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
So there's a little bit zoomed in, so Matt can see the buttness,
Yeah, that's great.
Matt likes looking at asses online.
especially when
You
they
don't like looking at asses?
Depends on the ass. And that ass I,
yeah,
wouldn't be looking at.
You know.
You know, not sure that ass would be the type of ass I'd be looking for, but yeah. And so I do like a Thursday night hangout in the Discord server, and one Thursday a month instead of doing just a hangout, I'm gonna start running games on Thursday, on like one Thursday a month. So in August we're gonna be playtesting that before the con.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
And then I'll have at least 2 or 3 sessions in. So if I do decide to publish it under my own shingle, at least I know it works. We'll see.
Now, Rob, you're running 2 games, right? I noticed the name of the first one, of course, the Potato Lord. But what was the second one you're running?
Knight's Bride Coven.
What night? What?
The Knight's Bride Coven.
Okay. Well, is that something you made up? I don't remember that. I've never played it, I guess.
No, you haven't. It was a map I made for Tim a while ago. And,
It's that one. Okay, now I know which adventure that is. Yeah.
So I asked him if it's okay if I used it, and he said okay. And then I took it to a convention, and I wanted to test myself, and I probably really shouldn't have done this, but I actually went with 0 prep. And about 10 minutes before the game, I rolled up adventure ideas, and it said Wizard's Lair, Evil Wizard's Lair. So I made up that whole adventure on the fly as the players were adventuring through it. But since then, I ran it about 3 other times. So I figured.
And that's no easy task for Rob to do that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Rob's a
It,
pro.
it was a challenge I wanted to take, and I did it. They did not know I did that.
Yeah, he came up with I remember going through it. It's a good adventure. It's a nice adventure.
You played in it, Tim?
Yep.
Did you live?
I think so. Yeah. Actually, we did very good in it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we systematically took care of the problem there because, I can't remember the guy I was playing. He was more of a thinker kind of guy than battler. And once I kind of figured out the problem in the situation, I just kind of tried to manipulate it to my advantage. I did get jammed up at one point because I couldn't figure out how to get. I can't remember, and of course I can't remember the details, but I remember getting jammed up with one part of it. But because my other players that we were with, they were kind of like just trying to do the head first and bash in stuff, and it's not an adventure that you can, if I remember correctly, Rob, doesn't work well.
Good to know.
Yes, no. There's a couple areas where the wrong decision could really jam up things for you.
Yeah.
How many ones did Tim roll, Rob? Do you remember?
This was face to face, so.
Yeah, if I've got real dice and I'm using Wimpy, it's a whole different story.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You named your dice Wimpy. I love that.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know how I got named that. I have no idea, but you guys, I had it on my thing last time, and it's the original 1978 die that I bought, and it's a brown die, but at the time it was one of those things where it had like just 0 through 9 on twice.
Yeah.
Color.
Yeah, so I had a black marker and I had a red marker. So I did one side black because I figured if black comes up, it doesn't matter because I missed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the red side is where the teens and the my 20 lay, and Wimpy was my die if I needed a critical hit, was the one I could rely on, but it would not roll a save for me for nothing. That's where I would roll my failures if I tried to do saving throws with it.
So I will give one hint.
It was.
My plan is coming to fruition.
These 2 props.
Oh yeah, you are bringing a lot of props. You said, right?
Yeah, I'm going to bring a tub, just enough to run the 2 adventures.
Are you bringing your Dwarven Forge horde?
Well, should I, Tim? I could do that, or bring the
well, it depends how much setup time you have, because while Dwarven Forge looks nice, it takes a lot of freaking time to set it up.
Well, there's an hour gap for lunch. You could get there probably as early as you want set up. There's an hour gap for the lunch, I think. But Rob, I showed you those pictures.
I think you don't realize I build it as we go. I don't pre-set it up and.
Okay.
I find that. Sorry, Eric. I know you ran some pre-made dungeons with.
Sorry, Eric.
I think it's totally cheesy when you do when a DM does that.
It wasn't about me running the game. It was about Frog God selling Rapid Acid.
Right. Selling the Apernathic. Yeah, and that thing. Yeah. And then what takes so long to set up is Rob has a dexterity of 3, so he knocks everything freaking over when he's trying to set things up. Nice. So yeah, hang on to your miniatures.
Well, I gotta Rob proof my house then if he comes up. He's gonna be knocking over bookshelves in here, Rob, and I gotta set up barriers.
He's gonna lay waste. He's like Godzilla in Tokyo.
I know I shouldn't mention it. It's just self-inflicted wound here, but I still, the Star Trek, the Enterprise, the Starship Enterprise incident was still not my fault. I deny responsibility for that.
What'd you do? What did he do, Tim?
Oh my God, I remember that. Yes.
There was no way I could have been involved with that.
What did he do, Tim?
All right. So we know Rob is not a svelte little boy.
No.
He
stood up a couple times.
He's got the density of a red dwarf son, and that. So he was walking in another friend's house. I think we had 3 Johns, and all of them were preachers for different type things. It was weird.
Yeah.
And it was the ecclesiastical John, if I remember correctly, going into his house. Well, this preacher John had a fine collection of all these Star Trek Enterprise what were they, models, and they were all displayed nicely. Rob comes walking into the room, and of course, Rob makes a room sway sometimes when he comes in, and it rocked one of the. I know Rob denies it, but I was there, and I felt the tremors. And it just was enough to get this model rocking, and it fell down and broke.
Before it broke, Tim, did you hear the red alert going off just before it went off from Star Trek?
I heard it in my head.
Funny thing, I was clear across the living room when it happened.
So let me just say,
how did you knock him over then?
I don't know. Vibrations from his walking.
That was it, really?
That was the vibrations from his walking.
That's epic.
And what made it more hilarious,
then John became very pastor-like or whatever.
It was an act of God. How the hell can
he I think he called you all sorts of names after that, didn't he, Rob?
I thought I was going to go to the special hell after that one.
Yeah.
And what made it worse, it happened 5 seconds after they warned me not to get near the models. So I didn't get near the models.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because Rob's area of effect was bigger than
bigger than a 5-foot reach. Okay, I guess it's a 10-foot radius.
An act of Rob.
That's exactly what it was, right? Isn't it?
But aside from the destruction of the USS Enterprise, that Tim ran a really awesome Pendragon style adventure.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Did you use GURPS or?
That was we were doing GURPS at the time. Yeah, 3rd edition, if I remember correctly.
That makes up for it there, you see? Lose an Enterprise. Get King Arthur's sword.
Excalibur, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else name their dice who's in the chat? I'm curious.
No.
We got, because I mean, you got Fafhrd and Grey Mauser. Didn't they always name their swords? Was it Cat's Paw? Was that?
Well, everybody back then named their swords, didn't they?
Yeah. So you named your dice.
Like Clack and shit like that.
Yeah, that's the only die I've ever named. I've never named it, and I don't even know if I'm the one who named it. It could have been somebody else who did it for all I remember.
I had both my DM and the other my co-players name my dice. My brother, if he's listening, he could type in there. They called it the cheat die because there were just these golden dice I got. This is when it was harder to find dice, right? And I got these really nice golden dice, but they were also the kind that you had to color in, with some kind of crayon. But it had such a nice color. I didn't want to color them in and make it stupid looking or ink it in or nothing. So I just kept rolling them. So you have to actually look at it, and what'd you roll? I don't know. I can't see the light. Move the light, it's that kind of thing, So whenever I got 20 or whatever, it's like, oh, check that. That's a cheat die. You can't see it,
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't blame them for that one then. Yeah.
There might have been a couple, rolling yes, and before they looked, there might have been a couple of those.
I picked it up too quickly. I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's the 5th save you made in a row.
Lucky die, man. Yeah. Lucky die.
Yeah, that was the cheat die. Yep. I've never named my dice stuff. Nor did I have a character who was ever named his weapon. Did you ever have one of those? Ever role play a character with their named weapon or anything like that?
I think I had a named weapon once or twice. I couldn't tell you what it was called.
Yeah.
But never named my actual dice. I had characters I never named.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
It's like, I got my fighter. What's his name? Yeah, fighter.
Fighter.
Other fighters in the party? No. Yeah, his name was Fighter. Okay.
Yeah. So in high school, I had like this whole mythology of these swords of power that I made. Some of them were. I had Stormbringer and Mornblade in there for the chaotic evil swords, so it wasn't all completely original. But one of my friends, who it was in the first Waterlands campaign, and when he found one of the swords called Sunblazer, so he had a named sword.
Yeah, because I think any named weapon I had came named. I didn't name it or anything like that. So.
And John Miller's corrected me.
I know he's throwing out. Yeah. I forgot about Cat's Claw. Yeah,
Cat's Claw was a dagger. I thought that Scalpel was the sword. Yeah. Anybody remember what Fafhrd's sword was?
I don't remember.
Too. John might know this. I got the books.
Yeah, I was going to say John's the guru right now.
Yeah. Not within reach. My books are back on the shelf there. Yeah.
Sorry, I actually last time I read Fafhrd and the Grey Mauser, it was the graphic novel series.
Oh, really? I never read
beautiful,
those.
Beautiful.
I've never read the graphic novel ones. Yeah.
Wasn't it Mike McNoll, whatever his name is?
Yeah, McNoll, and I think Craig P. Russell or something like that.
Greywand. Greywand? Was it Greywand?
Could be.
Anybody?
Oh, that does sound familiar.
I don't know where it
but I can't remember if that's his or not.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Greywand was somebody's, I think.
Yeah. I have the graphic novels for Thieves World, and that they turned out pretty good. And I think who'd you say the first guy was, Eric? What was his name for the graphic novels?
Was it Magnolia, and
I'm thinking he did those too. I gotta go check now.
I can see Tim's walking away. I can tell by the echoey sound.
It's just like was it Roy Thomas? Roy Thomas did all the Conan adaptations and awesome writing on his scripts in those comics.
I want to get some of those Savage Sword of Conan or whatever they're called. I've never read any of them. I think I would enjoy them.
What I've been doing is I've been buying them on.
Yes, it's Greywand.
Greywand. Okay. I've been buying the Savage Sword stuff on on Amazon in electronic format. But if you join like their comic book, I think they own their own Comicology. You get a month for free, but you get a 20% discount on all these digital graphic novels. I don't need graphic novels fucking thick, 5
right?
But on my iPad, this shit looks awesome, and I can get 20% discount for a month. And if I stick around for another month, it's not that big a deal. But it's worth it when you buy like 1 or 2 a month. You've already made your money back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thieves World was done by Tim Sale, so a different guy. For some reason, I thought McNulty sounded like it was familiar sounding, but it was different.
Yeah,
But
I think Tim Sale had a similar style to.
Oh, did he?
Mignola. Yeah, I think they both were.
I mean, they only came out with 6 of them for the Thieves World, ones. But I got them all, and I just once in a while I'll grab them from my shelf just to go through them again because I really do enjoy them.
I think
I read the first 3 in preparation for the City State campaign.
Did you really? The first 3 Thieves World? Interesting. Interesting. That's cool. That's cool.
It's good.
I have them
good
back
series
on the
to
shelf
prep
there. Yeah, I got them back on the shelf. I picked a lot of them up over again another thing over COVID. Yeah, they're pretty good though.
I forgot how much of a caper that most of the stories were, especially the early ones.
Now, Tim, what was that thing you recommended way the hell back when that I picked up too? It was I got the box set for it somewhere. It was it the Thieves World books?
Probably.
Okay, I'm thinking something.
Because I mean, Thieves World is that's my apex of fantasy novels.
It wasn't then.
First 6. I mean, they were. Here's a weird thing about me. I never read a book until I was 16 or 17 years old. Never read one. Couldn't get through one. Couldn't understand them. Really? I had a really hard time reading. And then I hurt my knee playing football and everything. And then I started reading. And Thieves World was one of the very first books I ever read. But I couldn't keep track of everything. So my bookmarker was a sheet of notebook paper, and I kept the roster of who was who.
Yeah.
On what's that?
You needed to because the character, because somebody.
Well, yeah, and then I had to keep track of who was dead. So I was like, we're dead and everything, so that way I could do it and everything. And so, yeah, Thieves World was really my first steps into kind of reading and everything. And then it was weird. I was reading fantasy novels, and then I made this weird jump to Fyodor Dostoevsky, and then I was reading everything.
That's a weird jump.
You could pull that off.
Yes.
Yeah, but like the Thieves World novels, and I can't call them novels really. They were Shadowhand, right? They were all multiple authors with each writing their own chapters.
Yes.
What's
shared
nice
world
about that? I mean, especially if I don't read novels anymore. I don't have the attention span for it. But I could probably go back and read Thieves World because they're chunkable. You can read a chunk and be satisfied, and then come back and read a whole new story in that same book. And you're saying the first 6 books. I would say the first 3 were the strongest. The next 3 were pretty strong. Not as good as the first 3.
I would agree. Yeah.
Those were let's first do with page turners, and I forget whether it was Lynn Abbey or C.J. Sherrill. One of them stopped writing within that shared universe, and it kind of changed the the stories that were going on. And then after book 6,
then it got weird.
Man. It's like I don't give a flying.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, because after that it got kind of out there. The nice thing about the books 4 and 6, it really kind of expanded on the mythology of Thieves World. It kind of went from individuals, like Rob said, like doing the caper things and doing these kind of like really interesting things that kind of interwove. Because the one rule with Thieves World, from what I remember, is you had Lynn Abbey and Robert Asprin, who were the editor, and they said you can use other people's characters in the stories. You just can't kill them off.
Yeah.
Right. Not allowed to kill somebody else's character off. That was like the one big rule. So there's this real cool interweaving. But then the second set of 3 books started becoming more about groups and factions and like more like Shadow Spawn becoming a god. At that
there you
point,
go.
But
high level real fast.
In a way that it was kind of, I didn't even know what was going on. I knew it was something cool just happened, but I'm just like, I had to like reread it like 3 or 4 times to understand like what just happened, But yeah, I mean, they had a whole bunch. Each person had their own specific characters within the setting. And I have to say, probably my favorite guy, and unfortunately I can't remember what his name was the painter. and he was like never in any action thing and everything.
God, yeah.
He would just paint people as their true selves, and he would get in trouble because you'd have this princess who would come and want their painting done, and he'd paint them for what they actually saw. He didn't have any control over it, and that, so he'd have to like get his wife to pose for these portraits so he didn't get killed. And it was just really interesting to just see this very mundane guy with this extraordinary power trying to exist in this just jacked up city. That was one of my favorite series is just this painter guy. Yeah.
And what it brings up another thing I was thinking about, because on the train ride down to New York, I was reading Brian Murphy's book, that Swords and Sorcery history book.
Oh, right.
Genre.
Mm-hmm.
Really good book. And I mean, I was going through it and this and that, and I was just remembering how short the Conan stories were, and then the Elric stories, and so obviously they're for periodicals, they were in for magazines and whatnot. But still, the Sword and Sorcery stuff lends itself to brevity. You're not looking at an epic saga. You're not saving the world. You're just getting from place A to place B, and maybe getting some stuff and getting back to the bar with some spending money. You know what I mean? There were simpler, more basic things. Man against nature, and this and that, survival, whatever. Now,
that was back when those magazines, though, when magazines were actually magazines, and they were paying writers, like at the time, a wage, and they could make it think. I mean, there's a whole thing about that, and so it lended itself to these, not these epic novels that we see today, but like what you're talking about, these very novella kind of situations.
And which made me wonder, because I'm sitting there and I watched my the nephews and nieces, and they're looking at TikTok, and these things, they're just like, they're 8, 10, 15, 20 seconds videos of some dumbass thing, and I'm like, how do you waste an entire fucking day and your attention span is shot as compared to somebody who grew up without all that shit, right? Because you're used to quick and boom, boom, flashy stuff. I'm thinking for kids who won't read today, you think Swords and Sorcery books, if you were to read, due to attention spans and ability to concentrate and just, life and, hectic life they have, would that, you think, would lend itself better to that than these George R.R. Martin style, or, Erickson's Malazan series, 10 books, each one 100 pages. They're not going to read that shit, you got
to remember, though, they read the Harry Potter.
Did they?
Yeah,
or did the millennials read the Harry Potters?
What's the difference?
I know, because I worked with kids back in the day during when Harry, I know I'm still dating myself because the Harry Potter, we're talking about 90s and 2000s now.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kids read them. I mean, they ate that shit up.
Now, those are millennials now, Tim.
Yeah,
those are 40-year-olds now.
Yeah,
I know.
My niece loved it too. But here's the thing: when you talk about Harry Potter is digestible. You give somebody like, I don't know, was it Robert Jordan, Wheel of Time? Yeah. That shit's not digestible.
No. Well, I wouldn't even read that.
That's just a year worth of toilet paper during COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because.
But Harry Potter, you got to think, once it got past the third book, it started turning into 700 and 1,000 pages too. It was no skinny little mini book. It became.
But it wasn't a hard read.
It wasn't a hard read.
There are hard reads.
Didn't it have short chapters?
Font.
It was written like little short scenes, wasn't it?
I think for the most part.
Yeah,
I guess.
Unlike listen, Rach was reading the Game of Thrones, the actual novels, and I was like, God bless you, I can't.
Oh God,
I'll watch it. I'll watch it on HBO and enjoy the shit out of it until the last season and a half. But I can't. After Robert Jordan died in the midst of his series, I was like, I am not reading another series of books until I know it's done. Until I know there's an ending to it, I'm not doing it.
And look what happened with Dune's kid, right? Frank Herbert's kid. I mean, he's like, we found some notes in a safe deposit box, and off of those scant notes, we got 25 more fucking books? Come on, man.
I know. Well, and the damn thing of it is like that originally was supposed to be a single book, and that was all it was going to be. But because it became so popular, they made it into that original trilogy.
Well, I heard 6 actually, Tim. The God Emperor, the
6,
one was the best, right? But I heard there was going to be a 7th. I don't know. I heard things about there might have been a 7th if we could finish it. Then I heard some people say no, he was never going to do 7th. I don't know. But I got to say though, the extra Dune books I read, I have like 15 of them. I got it from some estate sale. 15 or 20 over there, and I read the first 3 or 4, and they were not bad. They weren't Frank Herbert good, but they weren't bad. And from what I understand, unlike most shit you see in the movies today, they're really sticking to Herbert's canon, with very few exceptions. You know, Matt appreciated that shot across the bow there.
Speaking of,
oh, here we go.
We have not commented on two big things that happened since we had our last video.
Is one of them comic book related?
No, both of them are. Well, one of them is one of Rob's favorite topics, of which we often disagree.
Get out your scorecards, folks.
Oh, I'm gonna get a drink for this. Introduce it.
I have no freaking clue what you're talking about.
Not booze.
You disagree as well. So we haven't talked about the what is it called? The Game of Thrones trailer that came out for their new series.
I haven't even seen it.
Haven't even seen it.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones for the House of Dragons?
Yeah, the House of Dragon. And then also Amazon released another trailer for their Ring story.
Oh, yeah, Rings of Power.
Whatever the hell they're calling it.
I like the trailer for the Ring of Power. I like the new trailer.
This does not surprise anyone in this room.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should I be hooking this one up?
Yeah, I will.
Is this another Let's watch a video trailer?
Well, yeah, might as well. What the hell? Let's end it with
because I haven't seen it.
I mean, the House of the Dragon, the novel that they're taking this from is freaking a history book. So Martin tries to write a story out of it, but honestly, it reads more like a history book where the historian is. It's like Killer Angels. It's like reading Killer Angels, a book about the Killer Angels. If you're reading about the Battle of Gettysburg, the Killer Angel is somewhat accurate, but it's more of a story as opposed to a more historical book.
Wait, were you talking about Lord of the Rings, or are we talking about what the hell are you talking about?
No, he's talking about House of Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Oh,
hold on.
Okay, so this is House
Before
of
we
the Dragon.
do that, hold on. I want to ask Rob. Rob, you've read have you read the Game of Thrones stuff?
Yeah, I read. Yeah, I read everything.
A short story that he wrote that had to do with, I think it was a hedge wizard. It was two characters, a short story. They should have done a show off of them.
They are.
Oh, they are. That was actually a great story. I can't remember too much about it, but I remember.
Dunk and Egg.
Yeah, there you go.
Dunk is a future Targaryen king, and
really?
Egg.
You're making a show off.
But he wasn't. No, he's not. This movie is 2 generations before that.
All right, we will start.
All
right.
So this is the Lord of the Rings.
No, this is House of the Dragon.
Oh, all right.
This is Game of Thrones.
I don't really have any comment on it. I mean, they could go all over the place with this.
Well, we got the original throne there. Okay.
It's gonna have 2. I can tell right now. It's gonna have a two time period point of view. I'll show you why I know that.
I placed my hand upon the Iron Throne.
They fucked up the series so badly that I couldn't give a fuck. That's kind of where I'm at.
I will give this one. Listen, I actually gave Wheel of Time a whole fucking season to throw.
Did you? You fool!
Wow.
I was like, this isn't happening. I go, this is really fucking. It's like I have like one character I kind of half give a shit about, and nobody else, and that's pretty bad. To make me not care about your characters and you want me to come back, that's pretty bad.
I literally didn't make it past 60 seconds of the Wheel of Time. 60 seconds, and I turned it off.
It seemed nothing like the book that I remember reading.
Exactly. You watched it, Matt?
Hold on. I have a question for our lore master here. What is the deal with the ceramic plates with the metal balls and on this table? It seems significant. I was trying to figure it out, but I don't know enough about this.
It's series color. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Oh, okay.
It's not important. What's important in this whole thing is you have a king, okay? And his first wife. Oh, stop! Pull it back! Or her.
Uh-huh.
she is the eldest daughter of the king. And they show her both in the trailer. They both show her both young and old. So the whole conflict of the series is the fact she is the eldest daughter. The king has no son, and he remarries, and he has a son by the second wife. So that's why they have a whole civil war. There are people who support her claim to the throne, and there are people because she is the firstborn and eldest, and she spent a couple years building up a power base, which I'm sure that the prequel, this part where they're showing a younger version of her, is going to explain. And then
go back to that dude. It looks like he had a mop for hair. What the hell is that? Well, yeah, this guy too. Looks like it's like bad Milli Vanilli looking shit there, you know?
Yeah, they're an allied house from they're from Valyria too, but they're an allied house to the Targaryens.
So, I don't know. I can't give a shit because I thought the Targaryens or whatever were the most boring aspect of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I agree. They should be pretty epic. They should be like Melaniboneans, Elrics kind of people-ish.
Yeah, they're actually, I'm sure J.R. Martin had the Melaniboneans in the on the mind.
Yeah, had to
when he made it.
But you know what? There's dragons, and really, it's all that matters is that there's dragons, and people will come to watch this because there's dragons. Or maybe not, but that's what the movie
is. Is that Matt Smith? Who's playing that?
People are so jaded by the end of the original show.
So Doctor Who's playing the big bad guy?
Yeah.
No, he's not the big bad guy. He's the husband. He's the husband of the eldest daughter.
Oh, because he looks mean. So
that guy looks like
he is mean. He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. Okay.
Well, maybe. Well, I better read up. He may be the brother too. So
they could have done something so cool because my brother and I both picked this out in the series. Do you remember when they had the flashbacks?
Okay, so her.
I'll go back.
So that the young girl we saw, that's her when her father died. Older. Okay. So they're probably going to do an intertwined story. So you'll get the conflict when it starts, but then the other storyline will probably explain why the conflict exists in the first place.
Anyway, jump back. Remember in the original series when you saw the flashback scene of Baratheon going to rescue his sister, whatever the hell it was, who was kidnapped by the guy with the white hair. And he had the flashback of the young Baratheon and the young dude who got killed in the first season's father.
Ned Stark.
Ned Stark. My brother and I both looked at it. It's like, this would be they were great actors. They played that whole little scene well. And it would have been such a good story to tell, even though you knew it was going 30 years later. It would have been epic.
It was a good story to tell. I mean, I read, Martin did explain that story. And, yeah, there was a mystery night involved, a tournament, and there's something, and the whole thing is, basically the king's son knew something was up. And that's why he did all that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I can't buy these
battle scenes. Come on, what more do you need?
I mean, let's face it. I mean, they're just trying to recapture the original stuff, and it's not gonna. It's not probably. I should say it's not gonna work. It's just probably not gonna work.
Yeah. What the hell, Rob? What the hell is this?
Dragon egg.
Dragon egg.
That's a dragon egg. They're going to show you how they actually have dragons be born.
I can't stand. I mean, I don't know the main bad guy or whatever he is. That guy.
There is no main bad guy.
Whoever he is that the brother?
That's Doctor Who.
Yeah, I can't. No, he doesn't look. He's not leading actor. No,
none of these Valyrians are
bad guys.
No, I know, but I mean, he just doesn't have the presence.
Gravitas.
Character. He doesn't have the gravitas. Gravitas. That's what I would say. I don't know.
The character in the original story didn't have gravitas.
They should, though. They're Valyrians. They should have more. The entire race should have more gravitas than this.
Yeah.
They're not doing any justice to their coolness.
I am not all that excited about this one. Yeah, all right.
Well, I couldn't even finish watching. I watched up to season 4. of Game of Thrones, and I just stopped. It just got too rapey for me. I just got tired of all the
incesty and rapey.
Oh yeah, I just find another freaking way to shock me than that. Because I just.
Well, wait. When did what's his face is red haired chick? When did she die? Was that season 3?
Nothing, Jon
season
Snow.
3 or season 4.
Season 3. Yeah, that's when my interest started to wane a little bit there. I was like,
the Jon Snow's love interest. Her.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, she died when I was still watching, so it was season 3 or 4.
Do we want the trailer for The Lord of Rings, Rings of Power?
Yeah, sure.
I have not
seen that one. I have more comments.
I have not seen this one. I've not seen the San Diego Comic-Con one.
All right.
The war.
Oh, we should watch the first one. The second one. That's
this is the second one, Rob. This is number 2.
No, this is the third one.
Oh, the third.
We're gonna be current. We're gonna watch the third one.
All right.
Okay.
We gotta be current to what's up in the world.
We gotta play it.
Yeah.
Bunch of skulls.
Shush! Don't complain.
Our days of peace begin.
So obviously, they're setting this at the very dawn of the Second Age.
We thought
They're very
our
loud,
joys
aren't they?
would be unending. We
Carrots.
thought our light would never dim.
The
2 trees.
I'll say this much right now: it already looks better than Game of Thrones. The lighting, whatever, just the scenes.
Well, didn't they spend like $500 billion on this or something?
Yeah.
Well, that was, I think, just for the license to do it.
Yeah.
There's the Gandalf who shouldn't be there. Apparently, the wizard who shouldn't be there.
It is here,
Palantir.
the moment we feared.
The bowling ball is seeing.
It sounded good music there.
Evil does not sleep.
There he is.
It waits.
There's Sauron.
You have a mullet? Did Sauron have a mullet?
No, he did not have a mullet. He had closely
Looked like a
cropped
mullet.
hair.
Which would be kind of cool.
At
Sauron.
least he
see
wasn't
him-
bald.
You'll see him in more detail later.
All right. I want to see if he had a mullet.
Shackled, 30 years old beneath the mountain.
Now, already, I'm gonna say, just from watching these scenes, I am not upset yet.
No, but I was upset by the first 2, so this one doesn't matter at this point.
Well, no, I enjoy.
You know what I mean?
How are you upset by the second one?
And anyway, everything that I could say, Rob, is not going to just go.
The Hobbit was painful compared to the initial trilogy. The initial trilogy, you could get lost in and enjoy, whereas the Hobbit, you kept on going. Why are we fucking having I don't know, wild raft water super ride,
like a Six Flags ride?
Why are we having a Walt Disney?
Well, I don't think this is going to be as whimsical as The Hobbit. That's for sure.
Okay.
There's no one name.
Story's too tragic.
I'm sure I'll have a happy ending, Rob. Remember, they can't copy the story, Rob. The only thing they have the right to do.
This is all in the appendices.
Yeah.
It's the appendices, and they can't mimic the stories. So they have the characters from the appendices, but they can't use where it was filled out in the Silmarillion. So they got to fill in the gaps. It's like they've been given the holes of Swiss cheese, and they got to connect them all. This is what we're dealing with here. You know? Yeah.
Well, okay. So the only thing they can't use out of the Silmarillion is the Alakabeth, okay, which is about the rise and fall of the fall of Numenor. But it wasn't a story; it was a history. And all the highlights of the Alakabeth is hit in the appendices of Lord of the Rings. So okay, can you tell me what was the personality of our Parzion?
I have no fucking clue, but I'm not a Lord of the Ring geek. You know what I mean?
He didn't have a personality. He was an arrogant king.
All right.
And all the events that they accounted, yes, Tolkien fleshed out a few things in the Silmarillion about the Second Age, but all the highlights are in the appendices.
Here's the thing, Rob. You don't. Here's my point about this, and here's where I come down on it. you could fuck with Marvel because Marvel's had so many different authors who've taken it on, and you pick and choose, and they've
Different
changed within their own
versions,
canon. Marvel's changed themselves so many times. You could do whatever the fuck you want with Marvel. Now you could fuck with George Lucas's vision of Star Wars because Lucas was that he doesn't whatever. He didn't care that much. He fucked with his own canon a couple times, right?
Right.
She's your sister, blah blah blah. But as my brother said today when we were talking about this just after work tonight. You don't fuck with a man's life's work, his entirety of his entire life. Fuck being a linguist. He created Lord of the Rings. He treated it with respect. He never wanted it mangled. He never wanted it changed. There was a movie deal in the 50s on the table. He said, fuck you, basically, because I wanted to change too much. And in his writing, he basically says, no, don't. He wants it true to the story. The ends, number one. That's what his wish was. Number two, it's his entire body of work. It's what the fucking man left behind. It's his fucking legacy. You don't fuck with something like that. You just don't do it. That's where I come down on Lord of the Rings.
Well, you don't have enough information to make a determination.
We know what Galadriel was all about, and it ain't that.
Okay, so this whole thing. Hold on, I gotta. Just give me a second here. Where the hell is it?
Playing the role of the angry young brother.
Okay, here we go. Tarot of the Years. Because I happen to have Lord of the Rings on the Kindle.
Lord of
Okay, so that whole scene.
Are you going to defend this like you defended Obi-Wan?
Oh, you brought the brother in. Thank you.
The tag team, man.
The only person who can match your Lord of the Rings knowledge. Rob, they don't have access to Silmarillion. They don't have access to that part of it that details the downfall of Numenor. All they have is the end of Return of the King's notes, which is, of course, obscure and not a lot of detail. And so what they did is they took liberty with it. They condensed 3,200 or so years into about 150, and they made Galadriel a general. She was never in general.
If the evil rising is left unchecked, it will take us all.
Okay, so that whole thing with the kid is basically a reference to in 1695, Sauron forces invade Eredor. Gil-galad sends Elrond to Eregion. Eregion laid with death of Celebrimbor. The gates of Moria are shut. Elrond retreats with the remnants of the Noldor and finds the refuge of Imladris. 1699, Sauron overruns Eredor. So that's all a prelude to that event. Sauron is, there are human tribes in Eredor.
Yeah, sure. Galadriel also never goes to Numenor. She never sets foot in it. And
we don't know she's in the Numenor.
Yes, you do. You watch well, all right. So you can surmise
she met a Numenorean. That we know much from the trailer.
Who also I believe is Sauron. I think his which is also a break, because when Sauron's body dies, when Numenor is destroyed, and he can never again take fair form, and based on the original two trailers, it does seem like he escapes in the form of that Halbered Numenorian who she's on the raft with. That's the scuttlebutt. It's not confirmed, of course, but she doesn't go to Numenor.
Sauron's the guy in the meteor.
Well, that's not. I don't know about that. I mean, people are, and I wouldn't. I don't know why anybody needs to come down in a meteor. That's also never happened. Like I don't. If you don't have the rights to do it right,
don't do it at all.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Okay. So
shadow will not find you.
All right. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
They're
like
orcs.
the Middle Earth.
Wait. These are orcs.
KKK.
They're orcs wearing funky headgear.
Yes, they do look like KKK.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the middle.
They have horse
Middle Earth KKK.
Oh my God! Wizards of the Coast was right.
Orcs? No, that'd be the opposite, right?
Right.
The opposite, which is like
opposite.
yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking that too. I didn't want to say it first, though.
Maybe
I didn't want
they're just trolling wizards.
Yeah, that could be it.
Actually, can you go back to the scene where the elves draw the swords? that might be a flashback to the Oath of Feanor, which would be actually super badass if that's a flashback. Right there. That might be Feanor's
they're all
son.
taking an oath to Galadriel, the warrior princess.
No, see, they all look similar. They look like brothers. That might be a flashback. I think the first episode is going to spend 10 minutes kind of recanting the First Age and, and even the Year of the Trees before the First Age, where Feanor revolts and his sons swear to get the Silmarils back. That looks very much like how I imagine that.
The First Age ended with a great battle in which the host of Valinor broke Sangor-Drim and overthrew Morgoth. Then most of the Noldor returned to the far west and dwelled in Esra within sight of Valinor, and many of the Sindar went over the sea as well.
That shot of her stepping up looks like a computer cinematic.
What's that, man?
That scene where she, right after the sword drawing, she stands up, it looks that right there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it's on a video of a YouTube of a video, but it looks like a video game cinematic.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like a cutscene. It looks like a
It
cutscene.
looks like, what do they call it? The canyon, the uncanny canyon, whatever it is.
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley, because it's like she looks real, but so real she does not look real. She looks plastic.
Yeah, I have a question for our two experts here. Do either of you know how long of a time period this is supposed to cover?
Holy shit!
The second
3,000 years.
The Second Age is over 3,000 years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is the story actually going to cover that, or is that just?
No, they're condensing it. They're condensing over 3,000 years into 150, and their thought process was, well, even Númenóreans, the High Men, only live a few hundred years. We can't have a 3,000-year story where elves don't die outside of mortally wounded in combat, and humans age out. So they decided they're going to pack everything into about a 150-year period, which, I mean, in all fairness, is a hell of a long time for a miniseries. But anyway, you stretch it.
Hey, Matt, if you listen carefully, when any died-hard Lord of the Rings fan hears that, just like Joe's brother here,
Mike.
Sorry, Mike. Like Mike here, you if you listen carefully, you hear the sound of shit dropping and hitting the fan. So, I mean, that's their every reaction.
Yeah.
Well, no, my reason for asking is for us to, as human beings, to enjoy the show, we're going to have to connect with characters.
Yeah.
And if the time period of the show covers such a long time period that we are either going to have to connect to multiple characters throughout the length of the story, we are not going to connect to the show. Versus if they, I mean, I'm okay with them condensing because I really don't give a shit about Lord of the Rings lore like you two do.
You're a Lord of the Rings normie.
Interesting, but for me to enjoy the show, I'm gonna have to be like, damn, that dude or that chick is cool. I want to see what happens to her. But if she dies in the first episode and along comes her kid, and now I have to latch on to her kid, through multiple generations, I'm not gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tricky thread, but I mean, if they're going to compress the timeline, then probably you're looking at all the elven characters will be throughout the series. No doubt about that. I mean, some of them may or may not die, just like they do in Tolkien's writing. And then prior to human, I bet it's going to be 3 generations of human. There's going to be, the way it's shaping up, they look like we're going to have 3 groups. Actually, kind of 4 groups of humans.
Of Aragorn clones.
We're gonna follow the humans that are living in Middle Earth. They're not Númenórean. They're regular old humans. We're gonna follow the humans that are part of that group, but turn to Sauron, and eventually some of them will come the Nazgul. Then we'll follow the faithful among the Númenóreans, the ones who eventually escape and found Gondor and Arnor, and then we'll follow the ones who eventually become so full of them they decide to challenge Valinor itself for dominion.
And what about the Hobbits?
The Nazgul were black Númenóreans. A couple of the Nazgul were.
Yeah,
they weren't all regular humans. A couple of
them. Oh, that's right. And that group and those who survive from that group become the black Númenóreans.
Yeah.
So
Rob, what about the Hobbits? I mean, Harfoots.
Well, we know the
things that
Hobbits-
aren't supposed to be there.
They are there. The tokens first mentioned them. They said they were wandering people.
No. They were never mentioned until the Third Age. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. They were never
Yeah.
mentioned in any Tolkien manuscript. Even in his letters, they weren't mentioned until the Third Age. Now, I'm not going to sit there, Rob, and say just because Tolkien didn't mention them, they magically appeared. It is conceivable that they existed in Middle Earth without Tolkien writing about them. That's really cool, by the way. Sauron.
Turn back. That's probably Sauron.
That's absolutely Sauron. And I got to tell you, other than the short hair, I dig it.
He looks a little like Bowie back in the Ziggy days, doesn't he? When Stardust.
So that's the version of Sauron that corrupted Celebrimbor, who is the grandson of Feanor, and he came to Middle Earth in the guise of Anatar, an elf, a kind of elf that hasn't left the Blessed Isles ever. Once they sailed over the Vanyar, they never came back. So. Oh, that's cool. Elrond didn't believe him. Galadriel didn't believe him. Gil-galad didn't believe him. But Celebrimbor, the guy who made the rings, was kind of seduced by his knowledge of ring making, and that's how the 9 and the 7 and all that stuff were made.
And Celebrimbor was the last descendant of Feanor. All the other brothers and their kids basically off themselves.
He was the son of Curufin, who kind of sort of stopped one of the. He was one of the ones that kind of disbanded Feanor's quest.
Didn't Curufin the one saved Elrond when?
Yes. And his brother
down a big nerd hole now.
Yeah.
Into the pit of doom. Man.
Well, so I've actually Matt, to answer your question, I thought about this because listen, the guy wants to make a Tolkien thing. Here's what he has access to, right? So. I thought about how do you do this in such a way that you capture people, because Rob's right. You've got a group of people like elves that will, unless they're killed in combat, they're going to live throughout this entire age, and some of them throughout the entire next age, right? 6,000 more years of life, 6,500. Then you've got humans who live and die in the same span as us, right? So, by the way, the story shouldn't even have them in it outside of NPCs dying in battle, because none of them are interesting in this time. And you've got Númenóreans who, Elrond's brother Elros, the first king of Númenor, lived. He reigned for 410 years and lived for 500 years, and then over time they had.
The scary thing is that he's not looking at cheat sheets to get all these fucking numbers in his head. You're just actually.
I know. It's a weird thing.
No. So anyway, my point is they could, if they wanted to make a second age story, my thought is they're making 5 seasons. They could have made season 1 the beginning of the second age, and they could have broken off in chunks, right? Like the next season, it's like, okay, it's like 600 years later. Now
you're talking about what they do with American Horror Story. Each season, I mean, they don't have actually the same character, but they do have the same actor. But they basically reset every season on American Horror Story.
Well, it's an anthology. That's why.
Except the elves are a constant, right? The elves are going to look the same. They're going to be, So you've got that as a foundation. You do like a 15-minute intro to say, hey, here's where we are now. Here's what's happened in history. And then you can kind of follow through.
Could have been cooler if they did a Tarantino-style Pulp Fiction breakup and mashed it all around,
Now, I mean, like, okay, so we got the Game of Thrones, we got the Lord of the Rings. I can see both those properties. They've been played out recently.
Yeah.
We've seen them. Do we need to see more versions of them? I don't think so. But what do you think the next series of books would be a really good property to develop?
Fucking Harry Dresden. Dresden.
Yeah.
Dresden was already a TV series.
That sucked balls, though. It was stupid.
That was on Sci-Fi.
Right.
Do it right. Do it right with Butcher's involvement. It would be epic.
Yes.
You know what I'd like to see? Honestly?
What?
I'd like to see the Eternal Champion. 1 season for the different versions of
Count Brass, Corum, Elric.
Yes, all of that.
Yeah.
And you could use the same actor in each season.
Interesting, but some of them are beefier than others. Elric was like sickly, and then Corum was a big beast. And so the Duke or Count, what's his Count Brass, right?
Yeah, something like that.
He was a beast as well.
That I think would be a lot of fun. Hey, factor in the Grey Mouser.
I agree with that, Eric.
That would be awesome.
I would take that over like Conan because I'll never do Conan justice. They
No.
could do
Right.
Catherine and the Grey Mouse justice.
I don't even know if they could do Conan.
No.
Yeah.
Catherine and the Grey Mouser isn't a.
The
You
world
can't
can't
beat the
Conan.
original. You can't beat the
No.
original Conan.
No.
I kind of want to
actually,
go to that
To be
movie.
honest, we all pay homage to the OG Conan, right? Let's be fair; those weren't awesome movies.
No,
They weren't. They were,
It
and
was the
yet at the
best.
same
They
time,
were groundbreaking.
Yes.
they were fun.
At the time, that's what we had. I mean, there was
Yeah.
not a lot
Yeah,
to pick
the
from.
first Conan, we remembered.
yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
We
And
remembered the first.
I'm
The
not trying
second
to
Conan, we did not
disparage it.
remember.
Like
I
if I'm
remember
looking
now.
at this on a Sunday morning and I'm laying around hungover and it's on, I'm hanging on it and I'm watching it until it's done.
Right.
Like,
It's like The Empire Strikes Back. It's something you can't turn off if it's
Right.
on.
Yeah.
right.
know?
But that being said, I do think Conan could be done right in a modern day. I just don't think anyone will
I don't
because it's going to
think
be
the
one of those things that gets
sensibilities-
it'll get a 34
No.
Rotten Tomatoes score and a
right.
96 audience score.
The
Right.
sensibilities
Oh,
won't fit
kind
today.
of like what is it? What is it? The Terminal List.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You know, I think it's interesting where we are right now. Which, by the way, if you're
I
a
see
Children of
that.
West fan, the biggest series on Amazon recently have both been, I don't know what you want to call it, pro tough male, pro gun.
They've been
The
classic
biggest
series.
movie this year is going to be Top Gun. Nothing is going to be Top Gun.
No.
And I think you're going to see it could have an interesting domino effect.
I
If
hope
Lord of
so.
the Rings come out and sucks, and of course we'll get blamed on all of us angry white dudes.
Well, you are an angry white dude. I don't think anybody could deny that, really. I mean, you're an
Don't
angry
deny him his
fuck.
power, man. Don't
Okay,
deny him his power.
let's let him finish.
But if it fails, and if Lord of the Ring comes along and fails, and if Wheel of Time
Wheel of Time
continues,
fucking
this
failed.
already has failed.
I know, but it already got renewed for season 3 for
Yeah,
some
well, they have
goddamn
to.
reason. But I
Yeah,
think it's
well,
interesting.
things
This
change.
year, we've seen nothing but successes from what would be deemed not your expected Hollywood. I mean,
Yeah.
Not
Thor.
Right.
Thor
No,
did
they're not trying to deliver a social message.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. They're telling interesting, good stories with good characters that actually have depth.
Right.
And
Look at The Witcher. The Witcher is very successful.
Yeah, well, there you go. The Witcher. I'm talking about Reacher.
Reacher was awesome.
Terminal List.
Reacher was good.
I mean,
Reacher was really good too.
yeah, these shows and then Top Gun are not your typical Hollywood releases right now, and those are the ones that are getting the high marks, that are getting the highest ratings. Now, I will say Stranger Things, but I think a lot of that is nostalgia and based on the previous seasons.
Yeah.
But even with Stranger Things, and I discussed this with Rach, the characters all have a reason for being there and a reason for how they are. I don't feel like I'm being smacked on the head with a social agenda.
Right.
The characters
No,
are
yeah,
real.
no,
They aren't cartoonish.
Yeah, I totally thought of that when I was watching it. I was like, the fact that the group was so spread out, each one of them played a part. The only one I can say that I didn't really think did was the old hippie brother. I don't remember what his name is. The one that
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember. The guy who looks like he's like doped out. I don't know. The guy who
Right.
drives all the van all the time.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah.
California surfer dude, the other dude.
Right.
Yeah, he became a stoner all of a sudden. He needed,
Yeah,
like,
it was like
character growth.
he really didn't do much, but everybody else had a little piece to play in the overall puzzle. And when it all came back
before you
together,
say it.
thought was-
I haven't seen the ending yet, so don't spoil it.
no, I
for
won't
me.
spoil it.
All right.
I just thought it was great that each one, despite having a massive cast that was spread out literally across the globe, each one had an effect, and each one brought different strengths to the table. It really was. I really got to give it to the Duffer Brothers. I thought the 4th season was just nailed it on
And
the
the
head.
characters,
Yeah.
you could not only were they likable and believable, but again, you didn't feel like, I was like, oh, so and so happens to be gay. Oh, you know what? I'm not totally surprised, and it's realistic. They're handling it well. It's not like here's a message. It's him. It's this is a person. This is what they're going through, and that's treating people. I no matter what your background is, no matter what your preferences are, you treat people with respect. You treat the character with respect. I give a huge
And the fans.
Yeah.
And the fans.
You get the fans respect. You don't have to whack us over the head to make us like a character because they fill a category. They did such a great job with that cast and these are characters that are aging. They're aging faster than fucking
aging real fast.
They actually look terrible. Some of these people look terrible now, like because they're clearly growing. They're trying to grow into manhood, and they're trying to make them look like a 15-year-old.
But to Eric's point, if you step back and look at Stranger Things, you definitely could point at some things and say woke, 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 woke. You got the interracial couple. You got the girl who's a lesbian. Now you have Will or whatever his name is. It's obviously going to be gay.
You spoiled it. I didn't see that coming. Come on.
Whatever. If you were to stand back, you could say that. But Eric's right. They've done it well enough, and they didn't beat anybody over the head with it. But they actually took a story grounded in the 80s. If you were growing up like I did in the 80s, none of those things would be vocalized or common. They happen.
And not a small town.
Not in a small town in Indiana, but they managed to put modern sensibilities into it without it becoming a
100% right. Like I never even thought. You just mentioned interracial, and I said to myself, "Who the hell is you talking about?" Like, and obviously, it's
Max,
the redhead, and
Lucas.
And then Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas.
But I'm sitting here going, "Oh, there's interracial," because as soon as I hit an interracial couple, I'm thinking, "Oh, there's some drama involved," and there was nothing.
No. And not only that, they made you appreciate the characters for who and what they are, not because they were delivering a message.
And it's a good story. It's just a good story.
It's cool. And they actually develop over time. Like this season, I don't think I'm going to ruin anything. Max has a very big character growth, but it's based on something that happened in the previous season that I don't really remember in the previous season them bringing up that much. Like I knew there was some tension there between those two characters, but it really wasn't that really pounded over your head. And then now that they're reflecting back on it, it still connects and makes a lot of sense. I was going to say something else and now I totally forgot. Anyway, I think they did a great job. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I can't believe we're talking about Stranger Things and we're not talking about the man of season 4. I mean, he only is the most.
Well, we can't bring too much up because Joe hasn't seen the ending, so we can't.
I just haven't seen the final 2 episodes.
I've seen Eddie, right?
Well, well, we can't because Eddie plays a big part in those last 2, so we can't.
You haven't seen Eddie's moment of insanity, Joe?
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes. I can't wait.
Go watch the shit. Don't go to sleep. Go watch it.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed on this show.
You gotta watch it.
All right, I'll do it for next time.
They're long episodes, dude. They're long fucking episodes.
Oh yeah,
that's why I just haven't had the time. I don't want to do it in chunks. I've not had the time to sit down for 2 hours.
Do not say you don't have the time, Joe. You always send me dumbass YouTube videos.
What? Who's sending you videos? Let me go look at my
dumbass
Instagram reels.
YouTube videos all the time. You got time.
That doesn't work. I don't want to.
I send some too.
Yeah, Matt. Well, yeah, but Joe, he was sending me the most recent ones.
Yeah, but I don't think he sent you the long 6-hour videos that he sent us today.
Oh, now we're 42 minutes. It was a good one.
If it's longer than 30 minutes, I just go, I'll put this on the back.
What are you becoming like one of these millennials with no attention span, Eric? Come on now.
I got no. People bitch, dude. Can you do shorter live streams? No. The live streams are going to be 45 to 2 hours. That's how long it takes us before bladders start saying we got to use blood. We got to go to the bathroom.
Before we need a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
We're old men. It shows after a while. What can I tell you? I'm surprised nobody brought up the I don't own the book. I only saw a snippet of it. One of the latest Woods of the Coast releases telling you what you can and cannot do.
I heard pundits review it at mess. No, pundit reviewed it.
You cannot. I'm guessing if I use an Irish brogue to people, be fine. But if I tried to sound like I came from India, it would not be appropriate to use at the gaming table.
They gave you permission as a DM to play.
Did you read it? Wait a minute, Joe. Did you read it?
Go ahead, Robbie. I'm sure you got it, right?
I'm sure you got it.
No,
all
no. Did you read it?
This is what. No, I heard somebody talking about it.
Well, don't. Then there's what you're saying.
I heard
read it. Read it yourself and comment on it, or don't comment on it.
That's not how the YouTube works.
I
I
actually saw a snippet of it on Facebook. Somebody took a photo.
Wait. I didn't see this or hear about this. What
Yeah.
Essentially,
give us rules for
the quick gist of it, Matt, is that the Wizards of the Coast, in one of their newest books, gives DMs permission to, because as the role of a DM, you got to play people of other cultures, say, and those cultures are similar to the ones that we have in the world that's around us. You have permission to play them, but do it respectfully, and don't do it in a way that offends people. You have permission as a DM to play those cultures.
But you probably shouldn't be using voices. And if you've gained with me, you've heard bad accents of pretty much every geological and ethnic I can play with.
Yeah,
and I will continue to do so. Only because it makes characters memorable, NPCs memorable.
And here's the rule of this. This is what I call the rule of stupid when someone tries to dictate morality. Yeah. The people who were not going to do it aren't going to do it anyways, so it doesn't make any difference. And the people who are going to do it are going to continue to do it because they don't give a fuck.
So is there any they say that we can't do? Because I'm going to include them in every single one of my games now.
Dude, tell me about it.
It's virtue. It's like virtue signaling as a company.
Please tell me they had an intro chapter where they discussed the X card.
I didn't
see this through the journeys of the Radiant Citadel. Is that where it's coming from?
I don't remember.
It is the journey from the Radiant Citadel.
So, Rob, I know you've got your take on it. So, give me your take on it.
I don't have a take. I didn't read it.
You didn't read it? Okay, I thought you did.
I'm just pissed off. Everybody is being a pundit on it, including the pundit.
I heard it from the RPG pundit.
And nobody's read the fucker yet.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still one of those stupid rules because if they're
we don't even know what the rule is.
It doesn't make any difference. They're making a rule that doesn't need to exist.
Can we just not?
We don't even know if it's a rule. Or if it's just simple.
Well, whatever. Even their advice. I mean, even it's one of those deals where it's like people were gonna, it's the lowest common denominator. I mean, even if it's just advice about it, it's just one of those things that people who weren't going to do it aren't going to, like you and I. We're going to game our way. Everybody here, we're not trying to offend. Are we going to be stupid sometimes? Yeah,
definitely.
Of course we are.
That's why we don't live stream.
Are we out there to look to offend anybody? No. But if and sometimes I get to the point where fuck them if they can't take a joke either. And but the people who are going to be offensive, they're going to be offensive regardless anyhow.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I agree with all of that in the general sense, but we're talking about a specific situation here, so we don't know until we've read it. If we read it,
and a screenshot of a snippet of the page, so I did see using voices is pretty much could be a dangerous thing, and should be used sparingly because you could offend somebody.
There's got to be something on Reddit. Somebody pull up Reddit. If this shit ain't on Reddit.
Just make it clear that.
Wait, does anybody actually know the history of the book?
No,
yes, the book is an anthology. The book is an anthology, and every writer is they recruited writers from around the world and from different cultures.
Is this the barista one too? Is that one included?
No, it's not.
This is the first book that's ever been done by Wizards of the Coast that is totally done by a diverse group that does not include white people. That's what it is. So I'm going to give my take on it. This is the same thing that I said when the Wizards, who was it? Frog God, I think, brought out the Swords and Wizardry book that was only women. Bullshit. Fuck that. I don't care what color you are. Is the game book good? Don't promote the book based on some specific criteria that you know what, write a book if you want to include all women or all whatevers, dogs for all I care.
Whatevers, listen.
Why is that the thing that I don't know. I can't stand when you're not hired to write something good. You're hired because of some category that you fit into.
But here's the thing, Matt. And this is what I found amusing, with the specific example you're bringing up, because in addition to the book, and it was instead of using the defaulting to the male pronouns, it's defaulted to the female pronouns. Fine, whatever. And it was supposed to be that throughout everything, but the book that was the adventure that was written by Stacey D went back and forth between male and female pronouns throughout the module, so they weren't even able to stick. If you stayed to it and was consistent throughout all, fine.
Well, I'm sure their editor was chosen by their sex and not by their actual skill.
That was all
female.
team.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They were chosen not because of their ability or their skill or their creativity. They were chosen because of some characteristic that has absolutely nothing to do with what they're writing.
You do know that the end run of that, I couldn't give away copies of that.
Oh, really?
And Gary,
I stopped paying attention to because I contributed actually an adventure to the first zine that they
the first zine,
first zine. I have an adventure. I'm sure they probably removed that by now because I'm fast.
But I mean, I'm going to have my point of view for that. I don't have a problem with Wizards of the Coast doing the diversity thing. I really don't.
Me either. I don't care.
It's
a good product.
But yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to judge it on its merits, whatever it is. And I understand what you're saying. You want to get it so it's based off of like skill, not like your ethnic background. But at some point, we do need to diversify. I mean, it's just a fact that it's
it's a white sausage fest. What you're telling me?
Exactly. We're bumping into each other.
It's just like this room.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. We have two people without pictures. They could be any.
Because I remember back in the 80s when I was reading a lot of fantasy.
Joe is a black lesbian trans unicorn. I already know it.
That's why you
know about the unicorn part. You know about the rest.
But I would look for diverse authors, even back in the 80s, because I got tired of reading old white guys. So I wanted to read. I read. Now you can't. There's the females dominate the fantasy genre, and there's no lack in that.
Have you ever picked up a book when you're at the bookstore and the first thing you do is flip to the back to look at the photo of the author? I've never done that in my life.
No. I did back in the day. I would specifically go pick out like female authors to read and everything.
I think I found a quote here, and it says, I'm reading it, of course, on a Reddit page. It looks like they got a chunk of the various texts that we're talking about. And it starts off with detail, not stereotypes. When describing a character's appearance, strive to detail more than just one thing and avoid descriptions based on stereotypes. The more you can say about body hair, or body type, hairstyle, and texture, skin tone, clothes, accessories, and the like, the more dimension a character has. As some societies strongly associate ethnicity with skin color, take extra care when describing character skin colors. Consider a range of literal descriptions such as copper, umber, onyx, ebony, with modifiers such as rich, lustrous, warm, or cool. That's just...
in other words, solely focus on a character's looks and not the actual character depth. Got it.
And
that's what you just said.
Take the details out of it. Take all the details out of it. Who the fuck are they to presume to tell us how to run a game? Even if you want, listen, bigotry and racism and sexism is offensive to me in every way. But if my next door neighbor is playing a game and including all of those things, it's none of my goddamn business. Like, it won't be at my game. It won't be at Joey's game. It's probably not at your games. But the fact of the matter is, like, who the hell are you to tell me how to play and how to describe things? It's my fucking game. Like, that's the part that's offensive. It's not what they're saying. It's that they're saying anything and all about it. It's not their fucking call.
But I mean, even when I'm running games and you're dealing with one of my NPCs, I probably don't tell you skin color, hair color, height, weight. It's, he brings you in and you talk it up. Nobody's worried about describing what these people look like unless it's going to be part of the story. That's the hook.
Right. But again, I think we're forgetting these books aren't written for us.
You're right.
Yeah.
These aren't our books. So these are for the new folks that are coming in, and they're because I'm starting to deal with more of a younger population. I'm dealing with fucking clients now that are born in the 2000s. It just baffles my head and everything. But that kind of, that type of generation, that's what they need. That's what they go for. That's what they're focused on a lot of times. Their game, even though it's D&D in name, it's a different game.
Yeah,
it's a different way of playing it and a different way of doing it. And it makes my heart hurt sometimes when I watch them play, because I see them rely so much on like this two-dimensional, it's not character driven much anymore. It's almost like
character sheet driven.
Yeah, it's character sheet driven, and with ornamentation, with worrying about like what jewelry. It's almost like when you're playing the video games and you're buying new dies for your armor, and they're worried about what the cutout doll looks like.
Yeah.
Like what accessories their characters are wearing and how it works, more than sometimes what storyline that they're developing. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't, but that's not their primary focus. That their primary focus. So I think sometimes we get caught up and we get angry about it, but these books aren't written for us. They really, we've been doing this for 40 plus years. We don't need Wizards of the Coast at all. If the Wizards of the Coast, blew up in a giant hole and went into whatever world they went into, we would be just fine.
Forgotten Realms, probably.
Yeah.
That's protected IP. We can't do that. Yeah.
So let's give a real life example. You guys tell me if this book would consider this offensive. Joey was running.
Oh, don't even go there. I'm going to get canceled. What are you doing?
No. It has nothing to do with you. You're running an adventure, and it was for the rest of the 5e group. My characters weren't there, right? They were off doing something else. So you let me play an NPC. It was that attack on Tribor, and you handed me the party card, the character cutout.
Yeah.
It was a dark-skinned lady. She was like the sheriff of Tribor. And I'm like, hey, I'm looking at it. She looks like Wanda Sykes. She looked like Wanda Sykes. So I'm like, all right, I'm channeling Wanda Sykes here. I did my best to get the Wanda Sykes, voice. It had nothing to do with her being black or anything. It's just that she looked like Wanda Sykes. I channel Wanda Sykes. It sounds like that would have been considered not a good thing to do per that book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all I was doing is having fun with someone who I noticed she looked like someone in real life. So I was just...
After a while, I forgot the character's name. And, a couple of years later, we're role playing. I'm like, it's Wanda Sykes. That's who it is.
Right. Tim, I need you for this. Joe, your character in my city-state campaign, what's his ethnic group?
I have no idea. I haven't read. You give me a lot of notes, Rob. There's a lot. I gotta go.
You didn't read the character background, all that.
He gave me more the night, which I appreciate, but there's a lot.
I understand. So do you remember that I said you were a Gainorian?
Yeah, Gainorian. Well, all I described to you as my character
was what's your character's skin color?
I have no idea, but when I described my character to you, I said, "Hey, Rob, here's what I want to play. I want to play an Irish thug, like some of those buddies from what is that movie with Matt Damon? What the fuck was it called?
With Jack
Good Will Hunting. I wanted to play a bunch of those guys from Good Will Hunting, the assholes. That's why I wanted to play.
I understand, and I focused on. I made notes on a bar culture similar to what you were talking about, I knew the general gist.
Yeah.
But I asked you because Tim, what's his character's skin color?
He's Hispanic.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Then it's funny because the Rob's Gainorians are the main race that almost everybody plays.
Yeah. I got that far in to understand what their situation.
But
was.
they're kind of like like Rob's kind of equivalent or thing of Hispanics, and we play them more. Castellarians are more like your Romans. and that, and then you have I forgot what was the other group there. Was it Thrash?
Well, the
Elisarians, that's right. Yeah,
they're Celts. They're Celts.
Celts, yeah. So
and the Therians are basically like Scythian or Eurasian, nomadic people.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, like when you're in Rob's campaign, where being Gainorian is important. Yeah. The rest of it doesn't really matter. Well,
now instead of playing,
it's more about what they do
exactly
what they look like.
Yeah.
Right.
And all it's going to change is maybe now that I know this, I might change the personality a bit, which may go against the rules too. But instead of playing them like Ben Affleck from Good Will Hunting, I might play him like the dude from fucking Princess Bride. That's all. I might change it up. He no longer has a club. He's got a rapier or whatever,
That's right.
Prepared to die.
Montoya, prepared to die.
Yeah, if you read between the lines in some of the older Forgotten Realms stuff, really read between the lines, you can kind of sort of deduce what kind of old school nations they're trying to make from what is it, Am and Tether and the other
one was Portugal, one was Spain, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't come right out and say it, and if you're not a history buff, you won't get it.
Was Persia, Iran.
Kalashan is clearly the Persia. That's an easy one.
Yep.
But a lot of the nations, I mean, Cormer, is easy.
France and England. Yeah.
My whole thought on the matter in the middle 80s was I was going to deliberately play against expectation. So my Romans, the Gainorians, were more dark-skinned than the Romans were in real life. Mm-hmm. And, so all the cultures, but then as the years went by, I realized that first of all, it was kind of a stunt, which was kind of offensive in my opinion. And I realized culture is about how you act, what you do, what you believe. So I just stopped describing them,
Yeah.
I just say Gainorian, you see a Gainorian, you see a Therian, and my hope is that players like you, Joe, in the fullness of time, will just remember, say, oh, that's right, they're kind of nomadic, they're touchy about this, but not touchy about this on average. Yeah. And that's what, rather than worry about what they look like, what hair color, what eye color
I couldn't give a shit. I mean, I had one girl.
It doesn't matter.
I had one girl in one of my games I was running at a game store. She was, for whatever reason, she was a young, and she had a thing about Russia. And her character, she wanted to play some kind of half-orc who dressed like a clown or something, and another one with a Russian accent wearing Adidas. I said, I don't give a shit. You could whatever you think you're wearing, you're wearing. In my head, you're still wearing fucking chainmail armor and carrying a sword. In your head, you could be wearing whatever the fuck you're wearing, and you can pretend that your dude is dressed like a clown. I don't give a shit. There's a bit more important things to worry about in the game than fucking somebody's. I don't care. I don't care. Right. Are you having fun? That's all that matters. That's what I care about.
Right.
Yeah. Well, 10-15. We pulled a good one off.
Yeah, no. I think we beat this one to the round.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me in again. When you're talking Lord of the Rings, you might as well just send me an invite.
Well, that, and trashing Watsy. I mean, we definitely need Mike for that shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right. So, Rob, we were worried we weren't going to see you today. We were like, it was like.
No, I lost track of time. I just have I don't have nothing bad. It's just my dance card has been rather full lately. So
you dance?
Fair enough.
Figure of speak, Joe.
I mean, he dances as that's how he took out the Enterprise.
It's not wrong, yeah. Boogie woogie right across the floor.
All right, folks. Listen, everybody, thank you much. Thank you for the folks in the live stream. The comments were great. You were able to fill in blanks for us, which is great because I would never remember what Fatford Sword's name was.
Oh, yeah.
But once you mentioned it, Greywan, then I went, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What an idiot. Special thanks to all our regular and irregular guests. I guess, Mike, you're like an irregular guest.
You're irregular now.
Irregular in many ways.
I think your appearances though are greater than than bad mics. I think you've had.
He's
more.
a good mic. He's not the bad mic.
Oh yeah,
So-
we have to have both mics
I've never been called good, Mike.
at the same time and really confuse the shit out of people. Folks, quick things. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Gamers Health, myself, and my wife, Rach. I believe we're going to go over some mental health issues tomorrow, in addition to whatever the live stream brings up. Always a fun time.
You probably get a lot about your mental health issue shows just listening to us on this show.
Well,
tonight,
if you listen to this show, you might need to tune in just to tune out. I don't
therapy
know.
session.
You might need it. We might be talking about you. And I have no idea what ethnic voice I'm bringing up. Probably Brooklyn. Jeez.
Hey, did you get permission to do that?
Listen, my father grew up in Ridgewood, so he was basically in Brooklyn. My father has a bit of a the Brooklyn accent, and I'm from New York, so I already talk like half an ass anyway. So it's just natural. What I can't tell my stories though when me working in the South Bronx and actually speaking the vernacular, because if I spoke like this, I got ignored. If I spoke the local vernacular in the South Bronx, I was respected.
You gotta be dropping F-bombs in between stuff, is what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I do that anyway. But you just gotta be able sometimes to relate. Listen, I'm gonna do my quick COVID speech. Use your common sense. There, I'm leaving it at that.
And that also applies to monkeypox, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
what the fuck is going on with monkeypox?
We had our first case in Connecticut this week.
And I read somewhere that somebody has COVID and monkeypox at the same fucking time. I can't wait till those two fucking put out a monkey vid or whatever the hell is going to come out of that shit show.
Now you're making me think I should have pulled up an appropriate song, which was done by a group that's a bunch of gamers, and one of their songs was "Don't Stick It in the Crazy." And when it comes to monkeypox, I gotta say it's probably right on target.
I read actually like 95% of monkeypox is coming from sex. So watch out for who you're fucking. They get out there.
I'm gonna be fine then.
Bad Mike is trying to get
because you're a married man.
and polio came back in New York. Awesome.
I read that too.
Jesus, yeah, one first case in how many years?
Rockland County. Well, apparently because it's a person that probably took the oral, and oral is only given in a handful of countries. So
I thought you were talking about something different. Okay, you mean the oral vaccination?
Oral vaccination as opposed to getting the shot, the jab.
The best meme I've seen in a long time. It said monkeypox ground zero. And it was Charlton Heston kissing Zira from Planet of the Apes.
Oh God!
That's great.
I doubled over when I saw that.
But my God, what a great fucking movie that was, man! That really was so well done. And the costuming, even here we are, like nearly 50 years later, I still go, wow, those costumes were pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Decent.
It must have sucked though being inside that. It must have been hot as hell. Folks, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Manana for my next live stream. Otherwise, I'm about to say like peace out, but that's that Russian guy I watch on YouTube. That's in Georgia now because Russia sucks. But I could use a Russian accent. How about that? Is that European? I can use Russian.
Get permission.
Thank you, Mike.
Ask Putin. See if you can do it.
Putin, yes. Putin, no.